Mission First Tactical is the official tactical accessories provider for the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Use the code LEADHEAD for an exclusive 20% discount on all orders.
Hey, lead heads. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. I'm your host, Lefty. This is where we bring you the leducation. We've been leducating the uneducated since 2012, bringing you all the facts, sometimes fiction, but we try to bring you the facts and the education. And today we're going to have a great show. We're going to be talking about silencers, suppressors, mufflers, whatever you want to call them. With our good buddies from Disavowed Group, Ethan, Jim, and Mitch. Guys, welcome into the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. And then also joining me, my co-host. You know him, you love him. He's out in the great wild yonder today. It's Coop, ladies and gentlemen. Coop.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, welcome in. So if you guys hear the birds chirping and the cows mooing, that's Coop. He's out in nature today. I mean, what better place to do a podcast, right?
I concur.
Yeah.
A little ecotherapy today, you know.
Where's Lily? Is Lily going to join us too?
She's wandering around the woods over there.
Okay. Well, we may get a surprise visit from Lily. And then our other co-host, Ton of Fun, Jones. I don't know if he's going to be joining us or not. So we may get the pleasure of having Ton Jones join us. So if he pops in, he pops in. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But if you didn't get an opportunity, make sure you go back to our previous episode where we were talking about leveraging your experience for success. And particularly, we were talking about military experience. But that, everything we talked about could be used if you're a civilian or military, whatever it may be. But we had some great gentlemen on. We had Dwight Settle with Seal One, sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast. Dwight was a former Navy SEAL. He had some great nuggets for us on that episode. We had Brian Borkowski join us. He's up in y'all's neck of the woods. You're in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's with Asymmetric drones. You guys ever heard of them? Yeah, it used to be Asymmetric Technology, but he's up in the Ohio area where you guys are.
Nice.
Super great guy, entrepreneur, taking his military experience and turned it into, dude's got to be a multi-millionaire, without a doubt. Super successful. And we had Casey Betzel with Operator Coffee. Y'all guys ever met Casey Betzel?
No.
Antirus Alliance. It's a nonprofit that he started that brings together veteran-owned businesses, and it doesn't have to be in the firearms industry. I mean, you could own a toothpaste company, but it brings them all together to where you can go to one spot and support military-owned, operated businesses. So pretty cool. But that was a good episode. So you guys go check that out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
This episode is going to be great because this is new guys joining us. This is their first time on the Talking Lead podcast. And as you were telling me, it's your first time ever doing a podcast, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be gentle.
Should be interesting. We're going to have a good time. So I don't know of a better way to break in new guests, Coop, than to hit them with the jackwagon train. So we're going to let Gunny bring that train in. And you guys just grab a seat. you'll catch on to what we're gonna do here.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, the train is coming in hot, and I've got a jackwagon. I'll start us off just to kind of get the ball rolling, and this happened in Kentucky at the Corvette Museum. Any of y'all ever been to the Corvette Museum?
No.
Up in Kentucky? And actually, I think it was the actual Corvette plant where they make them. But there were 8 Corvettes stolen from the lot of the plant, the automobile plant there. The cars were taken from the GM Bowling Green assembly plant in southern Kentucky, the home of the Chevrolet Corvette since the early 80s. The 8 cars were valued at $1.2 million. And how do you steal 8 Corvettes, especially from the plant? Don't they have some sort of security? You think they have some kind of security set up or something for that kind of thing? But what they did is they set a fence. Coop, I'm going to mute you. We're getting a little wind there. I love the nature, but it's cutting in on our audio a little bit. So they cut a fence, I guess, towards the back or something. But they eventually recovered all 8 cars. But I don't know if they drove them off. I didn't get the full story. I couldn't tell what, but they were all spread out. So the 8 cars were in 8 different kind of locations. And so a man later arrested and charged with the theft of 3 cars said while being booked into a jail that if he would have made it back to Michigan, so they were headed to Michigan, I guess, to a chop shop, I would have been paid big. The first car was located when a woman at an apartment complex in Bowling Green called police to say she saw a man park a new Corvette with stickers on it at the complex and then walk away. There's a Karen right there. Tattletale. Police contacted the manager of the assembly plant who checked the inventory. And I guess that's when they found out that 8 of the Corvettes were missing. They didn't even know they were missing, according to a Bowling Green police report. Police later located 4 more Corvettes at different locations. The last 3 were found after officers received a call from a transporter driver who said he was asked to come to a location to pick up an older model Corvette to transport to Michigan. So it sounds like all this is originated in Michigan. When the driver arrived, he saw 3 new 2025 Corvettes and told the police the 2 men trying to move them were in a hurry. He also noticed damage on the bottom of the cars and called the transaction weird, according to police reports. When they arrived, they detained a 21-year-old man after a chase and charged him with receiving stolen property, fleeing arrest, and engaging with organized crime. How do they know it was organized crime? Another man fled in a Jeep with Ohio tags. Here we go. Police said. This kind of ties in with you guys 2 ways. So there's a Ohio guy involved here, and it's automobiles, which we're going to talk about. Your connection with automobiles too. So just stupid criminals. Those are my my jackwagons this week.
So a question for you: was that fence hard to cut or pretty easy?
For me? Yeah, I don't know. I know nothing about that. That car that's in my garage. Got nothing to do with those guys.
Hey, I'll jump in next. I won't be shy.
Perfect, Jim. I love it.
Our factory where we make car parts is about 50,000 square feet. It has 6 or 7 big stamping presses in them. And kind of a cool story, the one press, our biggest one, it's 750 tons.
Wow.
It goes down into the ground 16 feet and above floor level about 30 feet. It's just massive. It was commissioned in 1946, or actually it was commissioned during World War II. They authorized the materials to make it. They built it in 46. Of course, by then the war was over. But Rockwell Aerospace had possession of it, and they ran it for a couple of decades. During the Cold War, I guess they were stamping out missile parts, things like that. Well, the company that I now own, that family bought the press. They moved it there, installed it. And after a while, they got a phone call from somebody at Rockwell, and they said, hey, is there still a tool in the press? And they looked at it, oh, yeah, sure enough. I mean, this is a massive tool. This is not something you overlook easily. This is like, it can hold a car on the bed of this.
Oh, my gosh.
And so they said, yeah, we need to send a team out there. So they sent people out. They made all of the owners vacate the facility because it was a top secret tool.
No way.
So they pulled it out. They picked up all the material that went with it and took it back to their place. And I can't help believe to this day that somebody didn't get reamed royally for just, kind of forgetting that this secret tool was in that massive press and probably shouldn't have gone with the deal.
And how long ago was this?
It was in the 1980s.
And when they asked for that part back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So kind of a neat story.
That is a cool story. No telling.
And by the way, I've got video of the presses. I'll send those over to you later. You can see some in operation. And
okay. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Definitely. So I was trying to pull up the, did I get the right website there?
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you guys also have a company. It's called American Muscle Car.
Right.
Where you fabricate parts for older vehicles like 50s and whatnot.
Yeah, we started back in 2003. We just started buying it. We were kind of like American pickers back in the day. We go find an old warehouse full of parts, buy them, resell them on the internet.
I'd pack them out when I was 16 years old in our garage.
Yeah, it was the good old days.
Yeah.
And the company just grew from there. And when people saw what we were doing, as some of the old timers decided to retire, they offered to sell their tooling to us. Mm-hmm. And today we've got over 2 million pounds of tooling that bangs out car and truck parts. The earliest is like 1946 Willys.
Oh, wow.
Through the 70s and 80s. But if you click on the manufacturing right above the V8 there, custom manufacturing, it's in the dark bar, a little bit down.
Down this way?
Right there in the center. Custom manufacturing.
I'll go up a little bit. Just a little bit.
Right here.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, and going down, you should, if they got the website right, be able to see some of the machines. If not, like I say, I've taken a video. We'll shoot it over to you. It's actually more fun to hear it crunching metal anyway. So,
you guys have like an Instagram or something for this, where you post those videos?
No. We don't. I'm kind of old fashioned.
What's the rarest car that you make parts for?
The rarest is probably some of the 1 year only cars, like 59 Ford. They, for some reason, they tooled up and they only made them for 1 year. The same with Chevy. Yeah. And so at this point in time, these are like 15,000 pound tools made out of Kirksite, which is a material the government absolutely loves. The military loves it because Kirksite's a high zinc alloy. You can stamp out a bunch of parts. If the thing gets dull, you want to repurpose it quickly. You melt it down at 850 degrees, you recast it. Mm-hmm. So that's the majority of our tooling.
Is the majority of the parts, are they body parts? Is that what
they
it
are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quarter panels, floors, trunk floors, things like
bumpers.
that.
You do bumpers and things like that.
Yeah, we go for the big stuff, and we're competing dead on with Taiwan today. Mm-hmm. They put most vintage car parts companies out of business, over the last 15 years. This one survived. We survived, and in fact, we're voting for the Trump steel tariffs to better level the playing field, because we spend $1 a pound for this draw quality steel.
Good Lord.
And I know from my old career, I was vice president of quality for Emerson. It's a multinational company. Most of the steel that Taiwan uses comes right out of China. So China is in fact undercutting us in more ways than people realize. You know, once the steel supply is taken away, then the big machines, like we'll show in the video, tend to leave. They get scrapped or they get sent overseas.
What
Then
was that
when it comes to
material that you said?
wartime, what's your defense capabilities? They're nil.
Yeah. You said a specific type of metal. What was the
Kirksite?
Yeah.
Kirksite? Yeah.
Yep.
Where
So
is
it's
that from?
it's 93% zinc, 4% copper, and 3% aluminum.
Yeah.
So it's a great alloy for creating tooling.
It's 456 pounds per cubic foot.
Mhm.
So it talks about the density of it.
Wow.
You don't want even a cubic foot of it to drop on your toes. It'll mash them pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to.
We took possession in December 24 of the factory.
Yep.
Family-owned operation. They were family-owned and ran, and they wanted to continue their legacy, and so they dealt with us already, and they thought it was a great opportunity to continue their legacy. The workers are still there. The family are still there helping us transition. They're going to be there for a few more years before they retire. But
I assume that's in Ohio.
Yep,
It is.
yeah. So we're doing the classic car and truck parts, of course, but we're also gearing up to do any other thing in any industry at all, and we have our sights on the firearms industry to start making a particular gun.
Right, and we're going to get into that. We're going to talk
kinda,
because it all ties in really.
Yep.
So
Get into the additive stuff.
Yep.
Which will be kind of ironic because our oldest press in the facility is exactly 100 years old. It still operates, and so we'll have right beside it or close to it.
Now, were those
latest.
presses? You said it was like around World War II. Were they making tank parts? What were they making? Boat parts?
It was hard. It was hard to say. A buddy of mine's got a very similar press, and he's got the original drawings from 1943, and it said in the drawing it was to make bathtubs, which was, it was obviously a thing of secrecy. It was probably making
submarines,
bomb casings, or something like that. But they didn't. They were more secretive than we are today. I think a little better.
Imagine if you still had that part, that top secret piece of machinery there. That would be amazing. Of course, you probably wouldn't even know what it was. You're like, "What's this?"
Probably, yeah.
Scrap it out, and now it's a suppressor. I was going to ask too, because it's fascinating that you guys are doing that with the automotive industry. What's the most requested part that you guys get?
Oh, probably 60s muscle cars. Yeah, it's still a big thing.
Well, and trucks too.
Trucks
are really
are coming
on the
strong.
rise, big time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if your neighbor's got an old 70s, 80s truck sitting in the barnyard, go buy it because they're coming on real strong.
That's cool. Very cool. What about you, Mitch and Coop? You got jack wagons? Coop's got
Absolutely.
I don't have a jack wagon, no.
I do.
one. All right, Coop, hit us,
I
buddy.
do. So, have any of you guys been seeing, especially on the Instagram, people been burning it up about the SIG 320 again? Anybody been seeing that on the gram?
What are they saying?
So my jack wagon, I'm not going to specify exactly. I'm just going to go with instructors as a whole, firearms instructors. I'll just leave it at that, so I don't really get people's panties twisted up. Right, but a training group, a training entity,
Company
put out a thing about 2 weeks ago, and they said this instructor, who's a renowned federal firearms instructor, was putting his holstered pistol into his waistband, appendix carry, and the gun went off and hit his femoral, and he almost died. There was a witness that said that his finger wasn't on the trigger, and this guy is such a, he's one of the industry experts, leading firearms instructor. So there is no way his finger was on the trigger. And due to this issue, 320s will no longer be allowed in any of our courses. Well, you're the training group that it is, and they know who they are. You're a bunch of jackwagons, and I'm going to tell you why. One,
Okay.
unless there is a video that clearly shows that that instructor's finger was not on the trigger, or that nothing in the fire control group got bumped, right? I'm not going to 100% with certainty take another man's word that it didn't happen, because I have seen some of the best firearms instructors and shooters I know have an ND. There's two types of shooters. There's two types of instructors. The ones who have ND'd and the ones who will ND. If you are a avid hunter, shooter, instructor, it is going to happen to you at some point in time. I hope you are face down range in a safe direction when it does, because it will happen to you, right? Now, the whole firearms industry, again, right, is on fire. SIG put out a thing, oh, it stops today, right, whatever, right? We've known that the 320 has had trigger issues since it started, right? Whether they're cleared up or not, I don't know. They're supposed to have been cleared up, right? They had the voluntary recall. They had all that stuff, right? And, you know, I mean, I own a couple 320s, never had a problem with them, right? Not to say that I'm sticking up for them by any means, right? Because every new gun, when it comes on the market, has issues and kinks that it's got to work out, right? My problem here, right? My problem is that these same jackwagons that are freaking hemming and hawing all over online about this are the same guys who knew about the Remington 700 issue for years, decades, and they still bought 700s, right? So the hypocrisy is rampant, right? The same guys who used to shoot a Series 70 1911, knowing full well that on some Series 70s, if you drop them, there was a chance that it was going to ND and go off, right? I've seen both happen with a Remington 700 and a Series 70 1911. I have not seen the SIG 320 happen, thank goodness. But you want to know what? You're all a bunch of jackwagons, right? You're going to sit there. You mean to tell me right now that this training group is going to deny a government contract to go teach military units and have the ability to make $100,000? Let's say the unit's like, yeah, we'll pay you $100,000 to train our soldiers, Marines, airmen, whatever it is, right? But they're going to say no because SIG. Because they shoot M17, M18, which is the SIG 320. Get the F out of here with this. You're all a bunch of jackwagons, and you all know it. On top of that, like I said, I don't know if there's a video or not, but without a video showing that gun just sat in its holster, went in the guy's waistband, and blew a hole in his femoral, right? Without that, that dog don't hunt. That dog don't hunt. I don't care if you're freaking Kyle Lamb, Mike Pannone, any insert JJ Rakaza, insert amazing shooter instructor right here. It can happen to you. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, complacency kills. Be safe, right? I hope you're not the dude that puts a round through your house and into your neighbor's house and in through the next house. That wasn't me, but it happened to a good friend of mine. Rant over. I mean, you know, stuff happens.
You saw that story I pulled up. SIG ordered to pay $11 million.
In 2019. Yeah.
Philadelphia man. Let's see. A man holstered SIG Sauer pistol went off while he was going down the stairs, causing a serious leg injury. The second major verdict this year against the embattled gun manufacturer over its P320 model. This was it's dated November 21st, 2024. So I mean, who knows? Probably an anti-gun judge anyway. Philadelphia. So,
yeah, you bet.
Who knows? I'm with Coop on that. I mean, you show me a definitive video that the guy's finger wasn't on the trigger, then I might believe it. So very good. Did that spur anything in you, Mitch? Did that spark a jackwagon for you?
I don't really have it.
You don't want to go down that road?
I don't have any time for jackwagon moments.
Nobody cut you off in traffic today or yesterday or anything that you want to call out?
No, I've everything's been really smooth. It's kind of weird.
That's good. That's good. Good for you. What about you, Ethan? You got anything?
No, I
Nope.
can't think of anything right now.
Okay.
Hi, Dwight Settle with Seal One. We've had some questions about our different products. So our CLP Plus comes in a paste, a liquid, an aerosol, pre-saturated board patches, and cloths. Now they all do the same thing, just different methods of delivery. Our product is you're putting it on, you're wiping it off. It's designed to work best when it has all been removed from the surface. We're safe on all metals, plastics, composites, rubber, wood, leather. It works on them all.
Seal One is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Use the code LEADHEAD for a 25% off discount.
So I've got a hero, and this probably goes back a while, and that there's no time frame for jack wagons or heroes. You can go back as far as you want. You can bring them up modern day. Let's bring Coop back here. Lost connection.
Yeah. No, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to send you in a chat what training group it was that made that post about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So
right.
this is looks like September 25th, 2018.
I wasn't saying it. I wasn't saying it on the. I mean, because they just posted this like 2-3 weeks ago, so it's obviously a new. It's obviously a new thing that happened. So I wasn't. I didn't know who knows who in the zoo up on here, but yeah. So that's the training group that it was.
Who was it?
Orion Training Group.
Orion.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, they're the ones who put that on. They're not the ones who had the ND. It was another, some federal firearms instructor.
Oh, okay. They're the ones who posted it.
And then they obviously they're friends with them, and then they made that post, and and then was the reason for my rant, or especially all the commenters on said post. So anyway,
So this my hero, and this goes back to 2014, I believe. And you guys and some of our listeners may be familiar with this story, but it was in Austin, Texas. There was this guy that did a mass shooting. I was trying to get the exact thing. I hate it when they like bury the lead in these stories. That's another jackwagoner, these people who bury the leads.
Mm-hmm.
McQuillan, 49, went on a shooting spree that marked what authorities consider the second terrorist attack in Austin's history, Austin, Texas. Following a 2010 suicide plane crash and some local officers of the Internal Revenue Service, the incident, top police officials now say, has become further evidence of the evolving public safety challenges of a rapidly growing city. I didn't know there was like a plane crash in an IRS building. Anyway, I can go through all this, but I'm not going to read this whole thing because basically it's talking about this shooter, and he was basically trying to do a suicide by cop thing, and he left all these notes with people and blah, blah, blah. But my hero is the cop. Being the supervisor of Austin's police mounted patrol is a lot like being a parent, according to Sergeant Adam Johnson. Even though most of the officers in his unit are older than him, the members of the small group are needy like children, and you're proud of them like your children, he said. Johnson, 40, loves his unit, blah, blah, blah. Practice shooting. So it was 2:25 a.m. Heard the police radio mention reports of shots fired about a mile away. This guy's really detailed in his story. Holy jeez. So the guy had an AK rifle. Then he went to a 40 caliber handgun. Then he went to a 22 caliber rifle. He had a double-edged combat knife. blah, blah, blah. All right. So here's the gist of this story. It's the shot. Even though they were close, Johnson and the mounted patrol didn't respond to the shooting. It was outside of their sector, and the police dispatchers hadn't assigned them an asset. The team had just loosened some of the horses, saddle girths, taken off the hooves when the gunfires rang out. Blah, blah, blah. This guy, whoever this author is, holy crap. They could do a whole movie on this right here. I think he was writing the script for a TV show. The gunfire, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting to it. Just bear with me. I'm getting there. So basically, this mounted police officer was trying to put down this threat, and he was, I'm trying to get the distance. Johnson pointed his handgun at the dark figure. It had only been a brief pause since the last rapid fire burst. I just took a deep breath and just squeezed, he said. That was the only shot police fired that night. Officers heard a radio call of a man down. The shooter lay dead in the middle of Ace Street next to him. Johnson's shot had pierced his heart through the back. The shooting ended at 2:32 a.m. Trying to get the distance because it was an ungodly amount of distance. He was mounted on his horse.
Cowboy.
Go. Instead of blah, blah, blah. They don't give me the distance. I swear I read this earlier and I had the distance. So here's how the story, how a single improbable shot last year put a stop to a night of terror. That's the headline. So you would think that they would get to that eventually. So I've got a jackwagon and a hero in this. So the hero is the Officer Johnson who made that shot, which I think it was like, from what I remember, it was over 100. It was like 100 yards.
Wow.
With a police issued 40 caliber Glock. Yeah.
312 feet away.
312 feet. Okay. So you found it.
Yeah.
Is it this
yeah,
story?
he had 40 cal Glock.
Yeah.
Off a horse.
Wow.
He was mounted.
Oh, wow.
That's legit.
And hit him. I think you said it hit him in the back and it pierced his heart.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But when they found the guy too, he had written on his chest something about I want to be killed by the cops or something like that. I don't know. The guy was psycho, obviously, but
yeah.
But and it was the only shot fired. And this was in, like I said, 2014. So it's an older story. But I wanted to point that out because that's improbable. It's probably I'm sure that he was just praying and praying with that one shot, hoping that that it got there, but it worked. So
yeah,
who's to say God doesn't intervene?
Yeah.
I think that had everything to do with it. But that's my hero, and there was another jackwagon. I'm gonna Nicole Chavez. Nicole, you need to turn that in as a script for Hollywood because you've written the entire script right here. I mean, it goes on and on and on. She's very detailed. Great journalist there. Anybody got a hero? Any other heroes?
I do.
Let's hear it.
I got Major Jim Capers, legendary recon Marine, the first, I believe, the first African-American recon officer in Vietnam. Did some amazing things in Vietnam and was supposed to have gotten a Medal of Honor due to some other officers not liking him. He did not end up getting the Medal of Honor, and there was a huge push right now for Major Jim Capers to get the Medal of Honor for President Trump to present the Medal of Honor to him. I've gotten to hang out with him and speak with him a few times. His book is fantastic. He did some, legendary stuff. And he is a humble and amazing. He's an amazing Marine, obviously. He is just a great. He is a great all-around guy. So if any of you lead heads are feeling so inclined, go sign the petition to get Major Capers his Medal of Honor, because he is a real American badass and legendary reconnaissance Marine, Force Recon Marine. So,
do you
that's
know
what I
where
think.
they can go sign that petition?
If you
Uh-oh.
Did we lose him?
Yeah.
The wonders of.
Oh, there he is.
You're back.
Yep. If you go to UA Patriots, you can that nonprofit, you can sign the petition there, I believe.
It's called UA Patriots.
Correct.
We'll pull that up. Let's see what I get.
If I would remember to bring my laptop, I would have been able to multitask here. But I've obviously learned that trying to do multiple things on my phone is not going to do it for this podcast. So,
No, Coop, that's a good pick. I just happened to read his backstory not 2 weeks ago about the action he went in, wounded. I mean, it's like, wow, this was the real deal here.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
I hit the wrong button. So go to UA Patriots, sign that petition there, and sounds like he's well deserving of that. Definitely. Any other heroes? Anyone?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there. Got one. So do one for John Stryker Meyer. He was a MACV Saw guy back in the late 60s, and wrote a book, Across the Fence. They every single thing they did, every chapter in that book could have been its own separate movie. The fact that those guys did, normally surrounded, have a battalion or so of North Vietnamese looking for them. No night vision, no thermals, nothing we have to play with today. And what those guys did, and what they were, and I think they had if I remember correctly, they actually had a 100% casualty rate in SOG. So the fact those guys are, some of them are still around, and the stories they have are just amazing. And then it's a special man to be able to do that.
Is this the guy, John Stryker Tiltmeyer?
Yep.
American Arthur, U.S. Army Special Forces combat veteran of services in covert reconnaissance with the Studies and Observations Group, also known as MACV SOG.
Yep.
Vietnam.
So you can so Coop has a story where they end up strobing themselves, Marines, and I think you guys start getting shot at by a Cobra, if I remember correctly.
correct.
And well, this guy, they were having a napalm dropped in the middle of the night just by reading a map to a guy flying at 15,000 feet. So talk about being wired tight.
So his books, Across the Fence, The Secret War in Vietnam, On the Ground, The Secret War in Vietnam, and SOG Chronicles, Volume 1. Very cool. I bet you can get those on Amazon.
You can.
I'll bet. Let's see. There's a book finder. There's eBay, Abe Books. Book series in order. Yeah, there's Amazon right there. So you can get them all on Amazon. Very cool. All right. That's a good list of heroes. I like it when our heroes outweigh our jackwagons. That's always good. That means things are going good. Although I'm sure we could get into, if we wanted to jump into politics and start talking about that. It's never ending when it comes to that, especially with this Tesla stuff that's going on right now. That's a big
Animals.
quagmire. I think that's a diversion also. I think it's a created diversion to take our attention away from other things.
It just shows you that the left stands for nothing and that they're a bunch of animals. We've had to listen to them yak for the last 8 years about how EVs are the wave of the future, even though all things point to the fact that they are not, right? So we've had to listen to this, and now because Elon Musk is helping root out, inefficiency and in the government, now they're mad and they're going to burn down the EVs. You stand for nothing. You're a bunch of freaking animals.
Yeah. Amen.
At least you're going to pick one side, stay with it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to argue with that point, but I also think there's probably some subterfuge intertwined with this to where the right is also instigating and maybe doing some of this to keep the momentum going there. Just saying. It's a great diversion is what it is.
The world's an interesting place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, government and politics are interesting. Definitely. So before we get too far down the politics, because I don't like talking politics, let's get that train out of here, Gunny, and let's get to the topic, because this is what everybody wants to hear and talk about. So, the Disavowed Group. When did you guys decide to start your company, and why did you decide to get into the silencer suppressor industry? Because it's I'm just saying, because it's so competitive.
I guess it's been like 5 years ago. We were doing well with the car parts, wanted to diversify, and we even went and started a website like Guns and Hot Rods.
Yeah.
But we really didn't do much with it. A couple of years later, which is about 3 years ago, back in my career in the 90s, I had been involved in some government commercialization programs. Some people are aware of them, others aren't, but basically the government pays people like Oak Ridge National Labs to develop all this gee whiz tech. At some point, they'll turn it over to public access. And so we went in and purchased the patent rights for several patents that go into these suppressors. And they were part of these two younger guys know it better than me, part of a SOCOM initiative, right? They spent like $60-some million researching how to get gas away from the shooter, reduce thermal signatures, cool stuff like that.
Muzzle flash, all that.
Muzzle flash. And so that generated the patents. We got in touch with Dr. Collett, Klett. He's a cool guy, real, obviously super smart, but easy to talk to. Mm-hmm. And he helped us to understand, the technology and get it converted to actual manufacturing, which we've done successfully. Mm-hmm. So without a doubt, I guess we're beating our own drum. We think it's the best one in the market. Very high performing. So yeah, it's kind of the quick backstory to it. So we're doing that in parallel with the auto parts manufacturing, and we're starting to span out into got a program coming down the pike we really can't talk about yet until we get things pinned down a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're going to leverage the Type 7 license that we have, not only to do the additive, but also to do some more traditional manufacturing on firearms and accessories is about all I can say right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I can just imagine with the tools that you guys have with your automotive that could cross over to the firearms industry that able to.
Yeah.
And the technology that you have, learning from bending parts and and whatnot. So I don't want to give too much away.
So we'll have the traditional old world manufacturing mixed with the latest and greatest of additive. So it's a pretty cool mixture of a business.
Yeah.
Is that a play on words? Is that a pun? I like that.
I can't give anything away to you yet. But you'll know soon, man.
You'll be one of the first.
You can tell me offline.
You will know.
So you guys are doing something, I guess, more modern technology-wise. You're 3D printing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what sets you apart from, some of these other suppressor manufacturers that are on the market now. So
by far it's the tough game to play. I spent my whole career in subtractive manufacturing. You take a billet and you start chiseling away at it. I didn't know much about additive until a couple years ago. It's a fascinating technology. We've been down to GE's center around Evendale, and they had told us, because of aerospace, that the Evendale, the belt that goes through the Cincinnati area, has the highest density of 3D additive printers. Was it in the nation or
in the nation?
And I just saw a release where they just committed to another 2,500 jobs for that area.
Oh wow!
As the military programs start to gear up, and so what it means for us, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Our factory's in the middle of cornfields. And we're going to bring their tech into our factory. Of course, if it breaks down, we need support. The guys are
right down the road,
literally right there.
Yeah. Would you say that the 3D printing is, I guess, the most technological advance in the last 100 years of suppressors?
There's no doubt, because when you look at, hold up a cross section there, when you look at the detail required inside the baffling for these Oak Ridge patents, keep in mind, this is some of the same tech being used in hypersonic missiles. I don't know how, didn't care to ask. It's good stuff, comes from a lot of supercomputing power. But to convert that into that design, additive's the only way it can be done. Everybody and his brothers doing stack suppressors, which bring you up to some performance level, but you cannot get to this performance level with conventional machining. It's just...
Now hold that up again, if you would.
Yeah, it's just prohibitive. GE showed us when we were there, it was a valve that goes into a jet engine. That's why they're looking at it so heavy. It's all the jet engine technology, amongst other things.
Now, when you're printing these, obviously this is a cross section. When you're printing them, you're printing all one
piece.
Yep. Right? Yes. The baffles are all part of it, and everything, instead of individual.
It ends up making a helical design. Right now, it just kind of looks,
it's hard to see it.
Yeah, hard to see it, but
it looks stacked there, but it's more of a...
Yeah, essentially, if you were looking down like a F-22 Raptor engine, that's essentially what you have inside of those suppressors as far as how the design essentially works.
Right. And with the helical design, talk about how that design is, I don't want to say it's the most effective, but it's very effective in how it actually works versus the baffle technology.
Yeah, it takes, you take longer for the gas to expel completely out of the suppressor. That will help
with
out.
The baffles?
With like the helical design, the way it's shaped. Yep.
So it slows it down even more. Okay. What, and that was part of that patent that you guys obtained.
Yeah.
With you.
One of the biggest patents that we secured was the flow-through patent, which Oak Ridge is the inventors of flow-through. So that's the crown jewel of.
Yeah. Now I know there are other companies out there that have flow-through technology, but obviously it's got to be different if you guys have the patent on this. So what differentiates your flow-through versus others that claim they have flow through?
I don't know entirely.
We've got the original SOCOM initiative, the design.
Yeah.
Can it be improved on?
Mhm.
It could. Everything always can be.
And that's one thing that we are striving to do. We do have other internal designs, some internal tweaks that we are playing around with right now that we plan to release soon. There's always continued improvement.
Yeah. Kind of the cool thing along that line is when you think of a plate full of these being lasered, you got a powder and it's just build them up, 3,000ths at a time or so many microns at a time. On that plate, we can actually build 20, 30 iterations of the same design and basically go through a very rapid design of experiments to optimize, take it out and start shooting them. And we've got sound recording equipment that gives us the brass nuts of exactly, what decibel levels are we at.
Now, I assume, you've got your own testing facility there that you're doing this. Now, the material, I can't remember that. What was that metal that you said that you guys had with the
Inconel? Or you said the Kirksite?
The Kirksite.
Okay.
All that.
Yeah, but you're using Inconel for your cans, right?
Correct. So it's powder metal.
Yeah.
That's the
now, is that due to the 3D printing itself? Is that's the material that it works with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you would get powdered Inconel. You could get powdered stainless, powdered titanium. That's the additive. So you would put it in the machine.
Well, let's talk about that. I think that's interesting is how the 3D printing from start to finish. So it's a powder, starts off at a powder, and then talk about the machines, what they do, how they, I guess, heat it up, and then how it's sprayed. I don't know. Talk about that. I don't know. So, yeah.
It's a bed of powder and the lasers, and there can be up to 4 heads, right? 4 head lasers. And it basically just melts the shape. Then
a wipe comes through. And
then a wipe comes through and puts new powder down, and it goes for the second layer, and it just keeps additively building those layers.
It's 24/7 for however long the Z height is. So you have a suppressor that is, this versus this. This is done in 2 to 3 days. This is done in about 5 days. So the higher you go, the longer it takes for the suppressor to make. That's the big cost driver, as well as the shorter cans are cheaper because they take less time to make.
Right. So hold those back up again.
Yep. Oops.
And do tilt them so I can see the inside. Yeah. So
this is direct thread, and this one's a hub. So we include a direct thread hub that goes with this, or this could be the QD mount for you.
Yeah, but that is all entirely
end caps.
It's entirely Inconel, right? And it's all
these two are entirely Inconel.
And they're all one part. So the outside coating that you have there, that's a different process. Is that right? That you've got?
Yeah, the outside is Cerakote.
Okay, so you Cerakote the outside. Otherwise, it would be shiny like you're seeing the ring.
Yeah. So it's
does it print them vertical or horizontal?
Vertical. So
everything's from bottom to top. Is how it's
how
it's printed. Interesting. Do you have a video that shows the process?
Not right now. We can get one.
We can grab one from G. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if maybe you guys had a YouTube channel or maybe on your Instagram.
No, not yet.
We're too busy making things.
No, I get it. I just think it'd be very interesting to actually see it.
Yeah.
In process, there's probably a video out there. Somebody doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. But so the materials that you're using, and it seems like that's the most common is Inconel. How did that material beat out maybe the other metal that you use your car parts stuff?
With titanium, you have the strong properties of titanium, but the problem being is it truly isn't full auto rated. You start getting some
You
What
can
am
get
I looking
some.
for?
You can get some thermal cycling going
There you
on,
go.
cracking.
Yeah.
Inconel
Deformation.
itself is not a new material. I was in aerospace making exhaust systems for some of the high-end jet engines, and Inconel's been around for decades.
Mhm.
It'll actually shed heat faster than you can put into it, and literally, and this is not an exaggeration, you'll melt your barrel and not even touch the suppressor.
Yeah. So Inconel is a nickel chromium based super alloy often utilized in extreme environments where components are subject to high temperature, pressure, or mechanical load. So the Inconel, the nickel chromium mixture has been found to be best for the high temperatures. Is that?
Yes.
Because even better than maybe these car engines, because car engines get extremely hot. What are those made from?
Car engines only run at about 250, 300 degrees, something like that.
Well, it depends on what kind of car you're talking about, but yeah.
Well,
I was talking about like
these
these Indy cars, you know.
Well, these will run somewhere around 1,000. So I don't know any car engines that run around that.
Yeah, they typically use what RAM is one of the materials.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been making blocks and such out of that, pistons. But it's still not quite as good as Inconel overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a step above this, a material that we're familiar with. Again, we haven't produced any yet, so we're gonna keep our mouths shut on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that I dealt with back in the days working with Aerospatiale and some other companies.
And that was going to be my next progression is, okay, car engines, then you've got jet engines, you know, then you've got even more heat resistant is shuttles and whatnot when they're coming back into the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
And those materials that they're using on those plates, deflector plates for those.
Yeah, it was actually back
ceramic involved with that, and
in the early 2000s, GE, some of the engine efficiencies got so high that they had to come up with even more exotic materials than Inconel. You know, for the mission profile that we have for a suppressor, Inconel far exceeds anything you need. If you wanted to get maybe extremely large caliber, high volume rates of fire, it could probably still handle it.
So again, back to, and you're in the aerospace industry there, and got knowledge of these exotic materials. Are you seeing that the Inconel? How soon do you think Inconel will be replaced with another material? I guess is what I'm.
I don't see it in the near future. Also, we have to look at supply chain. Also, it's very readily available and it's fairly economic.
It's come down in price a good bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have titanium, which titanium's great for pistol, rim fire, for the bolt guys. Great solution for them. Lightweight, but it's actually still more expensive than Inconel is per kilogram. So it's Inconel is a great option. Stainless steel is cheaper than Inconel, but you don't have the thermal properties that Inconel does versus stainless.
Plus, it's heavier, right?
It's about almost the same as Inconel, but it's just the performance of Inconel surpasses that of stainless.
Yeah. What kind of R&D are you guys doing on? Are you doing any material?
So
research?
there's a new material. My dad had mentioned a little bit. We have not tried it yet. We're going to be getting a hold of the powder, and
so something's interesting though on material side is if you have a billet material versus additive. You know, they're building up with powder. The additive piece of it, it'll only be about 10% less strength than billet, which is still a pretty good trade-off, again, considering the fact that you cannot subtractively make these suppressors. You have to do it additively.
Mm.
But as far as quality control goes, each plate of these suppressors, you create a little cube on the plate that becomes your Rockwell hardness test sample.
Mhm.
And you create a little dumbbell for the tensile strength. Usually it's not a high risk thing, that it's not going to be hard enough or the tensile strength is going to be correct, but it's just a good quality double check that we perform.
You do that with each one that's printed, or just
Each plate full. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, how many are you printing at a time?
It depends on the model.
So 20 to 30. Depending.
These would be, what is it? Do you remember, Mitch? About 30?
Yeah, it's about 30 or 33. It was like an odd number.
And this guy, the Bantam, you're looking at 45, 50 per batch on a plate.
And are these plates, do they have like a ice tray kind of deal? I mean, they got their own little slots and.
Oh. No, it's a solid plate. It actually welds the things to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a wire EDM come in and shave them off the plate.
I don't know if it's like proprietary technology that you guys have on this stuff. I would love to see a video. I think you guys should do a video on how they're made.
The making of it is probably not proprietary as such. It's
or you can invite me up there and I could come up and I could see it firsthand. That would be great.
Sure.
Tell Lefty he can come video as long as he stays awake for the entire 5 days of printing.
Well, we could put it on a time lapse, do a time lapse video, but that's amazing that it takes 5 days. Is that if you just did one, it would take 5 days to do one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The amount of Inconel, I guess, powder that it takes to make one, what's the weight of that?
The weight of it depends. Like this,
is it the same as? I guess you lose powder in the process, so I'm sure it's lighter. The finished product is lighter than the amount that you actually have to use.
Yeah, after you clean it out. Yeah.
This is hovering right about a little over 6 ounces for this is our 556 guy.
Finished.
Yep, finished.
Yeah.
This one right here. Try to remember off the top of my head. I think it's right around 14 or 15 ounces, I believe. Then you add, of course, the hub, which will add a little bit of weight. We do our hubs and our end caps out of stainless.
Are those 3D printed also?
No, those are CNC.
Okay, so those are subtractive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm catching on. So, but I guess my question was, when you start off, I mean, you wait. What's the weight of the original powder that you're using? Do you know that per?
Oh no, not top of my head.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Never thought about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it
probably if you look
waste.
at a cube powder, it would probably be lighter than this because it hasn't been melded together. There's going to be some space between the particles. Does that answer it? It's probably going to be
maybe. I mean,
maybe.
I don't know.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I would think that it would be more material in the beginning, and then it comes out lighter than what you originally have to put in it to make it, because of the heat and all that. So I don't know. Coop, you got any questions? I don't want to cut you off.
No.
Coop shot them all now.
Yeah, Coop's got. The reason we got Coop on here is he's got actual hands-on experience. I got like a little bit of
out of goals
when my rifle was working.
Some that might interest Coop, and I need to look the study back up. But out on the West Coast, they outfitted some Marines, with suppressors, and they had another group without. and they were, of course, you've been through the exercises. They rate your operational efficiency, and this was inside structures, and we all know how bloody loud an M16 or whatever sounds when you're inside a room. And the group that was equipped with the suppressors had a much higher operational efficiency because they were eased. Well, a couple reasons. One, they were able to communicate with each other. Their ears weren't screaming. And the other factor was that, just the concussive blast inside of a closed room, no matter how seasoned you are, it's going to disorient you some. And especially somebody who's not seasoned, they're going to get very disoriented. So, Coop, you got more experience by far than me. Maybe you can comment on that.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, SOCOM actually put in a directive that anyone shooting, at first it was just 10.5-inch 5.56s in the shoot house had to be suppressed, and now I believe they've changed it that everyone shooting in the shoot house has to be suppressed. And reason for that, especially on the 10.5-inchers, being unsuppressed, was registering grade 2 concussions on blast gauges. So any kind of CQB definitely should be done with suppressors for multitude of reasons. The communication factor, health and wellness probably being one of the most major ones.
That's something that people don't think about, Coop, is they think the main benefit is the hearing, but the concussive aspects from shooting also, you don't hear a lot of people talk about that, but that's a major contributor to TBI that a lot of people get.
Yeah. Yep. TBI, operator syndrome, 100%. And so it doesn't, now, Marine Corps wide, infantry wide, every infantryman has a suppressor, which, makes me super jealous, because 25 years ago when I joined the Marine Corps, I had a frickin' M16A2 with the iron sights and one pair of night vision for the whole squad. Now everyone's got dual tube, nods, suppressors on their guns, all kinds of fancy trinkets. But I think it should make the Marine Corps, and I'm not sure if the Army Infantry, if they all have suppressors as well, but that should make the Marine infantry a more lethal fighting force. Multiple reasons. When you're doing a range, or you're in combat and you're attacking, you're doing fire and movement or fire and maneuver, and the guy next to you is just blasting away with a saw or a 240 or heck, just an M4 or M16 A4, whatever we're on these days. That's a lot of stuff going on, and
a lot of concussion. Yeah.
A lot of concussion, potential distractions for some of those, like, more privates and PFCs and, the younger guys. But, health and wellness, battlefield awareness, keeping the enemy, them not knowing 100% where you're at times, all that stuff makes a difference, so that, I think is spectacular. The suppressors I used when I was at recon and force recon, it was your standard surefire corncob, suppressor. Having one of your guys' cans would have been, night and day difference.
Well, that's another thing that I guess technology has improved on. When you guys talk about the flow through, talk about that versus the the traditional or earlier designs of the suppressors, because that also, the gases that blow back into the operator's face and, the lung that they're breathing in, the flow through is pushing this forward and away from. Yeah. So talk about that technology.
Well, Mitch, you can talk to that.
Since you're a left-hander.
You like the taste of that smoke, I think, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm an 11 Bravo guy, the Army Infantry, and I'm a left-handed shooter. So, which means I eat all the gas. So the perk of the suppressors is it actually does, it really does push all that extra gas out of your face, and pressure, actually helps push all that pressure away from you as the shooter and anybody around you at the same time. So when you're running and huffing and puffing, you're not sucking in all that gas with it, which is really, really quite nice. Coop could probably concur on that one. Your eyes aren't eating everything. They're not burning. You're not catching all that extra gas and powder in your eyes. So it's as a shooter, makes you, especially from a military aspect or maybe a first responder, definitely makes you a lot more efficient.
And you can comment on that. Coop was talking about the concussive blasts. I remember a story you told about shooting off a 50 cal round in Fallujah inside of an alley, or you couldn't hear for how many days?
Yeah. So I shot a 50 inside of I don't know why, but we got backed up into a lean-to, and it was metal. I ended up shooting the 50, and I just remember my eardrums were literally bleeding at the end of it.
Yeah.
So it was I couldn't sink my head into my shoulders far enough.
So you're definitely an advocate of suppressors, right?
Yeah. I'm now officially a spoiled snob when it comes to shooting.
So I found this video. Let's see how accurate this is. So you guys analyze this video. It's supposed to be showing a 3D printed flow through. I don't know, silencer shop. So it's got the little cutaway here. I guess I cut the volume down, so I don't know what they're saying, but.
All right. So real quick, if Tom was here, he could help me out with this explanation a little bit better. But if you take rice paper, you put it out in front of the gun. When you go to shoot it, this is a good way to check flow through. When you shoot it, obviously you're gonna have a hole where your bullet goes through it. But the other thing, it's going to trap those gases. And so the cool thing is when you got that rice paper to shoot it, you actually, with ours, you see the pattern that you're getting with our flow through, and it's true to how the design. Basically, it's following the design of the can. So it's actually spinning out of our can.
Yeah, there's a rotational mark on the rice paper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Simple yet effective.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
And then some other flow throughs, didn't he mention that they're basically just dots? There's no spin. Yeah.
Had situations where another vendor may have failed a military or a law enforcement agency, and they need 20,000 units. We've got 2 weeks to do it, and we do it. And the first one's as good as the last one.
Mission First Tactical has stood the test of time by digging deep and going the extra mile, always making sure that we do it right. We listen to our customers. We want to educate our customers. It's a partnership. We take our time to service the needs of our customers from top to bottom.
Mission First Tactical is the official tactical accessories provider for the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Use the code LEADHEAD for an exclusive 20% discount on all orders.
I was trying to see if I could find, how those people do those 3D videos of how like a gun works. I was seeing if I could find a video with that. That's why you guys need to put one of those out.
Yeah, we do.
But anyway, you guys can Google that, and I'm sure there's something out there. And so let's talk about your suppressors, your silencers. Talk about your offerings, what you guys have. I'm going to pull your website up here while we're talking about them. So talk about your offerings.
So we go from smallest to biggest, maybe?
Whatever you got on the website, the STRIX.
Strix. Yeah.
Let's talk about your Strix.
That's our big guy. It's about a little over 8-inch long, 30 cal. Then the Nocturnal is this guy right here that we're holding up, 30 cal. Next one would be the Badger, or 5.56, our little bit bigger guy. The next 5.56 is this guy right here, the Bantam. It's a little guy. And then, Mitch, you have a good story about this with the range, the 31.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So the Bantam is actually because of coming through SOCOM and Naval Special Warfare and all that is part the guys that were promoting it. The Bantam has actually been sitting on range 31 since 2015, which is one of the ranges the Army uses for all of its testing. And according to a few of the guys we know, they're just now getting out of like Special Forces and some of the Marine Recon units that have seen that on that range. They're telling us it's still sitting there cooking all saw barrels.
The Bantam.
Yeah.
The Bantam.
Okay.
So if that tells you the possible longevity of that little suppressor.
So that's a 5.56 can. Is dedicated 5.56?
Well, I mean, you can shoot a 22 out of it.
You can
Sounds
do anything
amazing.
at 17 HMR up through a 5.7 through it.
Yeah.
But it's direct thread only, so you can only do half by 24.
And back to other offerings, we have the Bertha. It's our 4570 can.
Bertha.
Direct thread.
Here's the Bertha.
Uh-huh.
All right, keep going.
And then the next one would be what's next on the list?
We'll talk about the Bertha. Give me
Okay.
the features of the Bertha.
So Inconel, length, a little bit over 7.9 inches, 17-ounce can. The thread pitch is 5/8 by 24, right, Mitch? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Yeah. That right there makes shooting a 4570 Henry extremely fun. It tames down the recoil considerable amount. There's actually a guy from Henry that popped over our booth at Goals. He's like, man, I'm 120 pounds soaking wet, and I hate shooting a 4570. It hurts. He's like, this was fun.
Is that what this guy's shooting that I'm showing
Yep.
on the video here?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Now with the 4570, is that a dedicated or is that multi-cal also? Can you shoot?
I mean, yeah, you can do your 44 mags. Go ahead, Mitch.
350 Legends, 450, the 450 SOCOM, anything along those lines. Below a 50 will go through it just fine.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And if you lead heads, you want to go to their Instagram, it's Disavowed Group Actual, and they've got some postings there. More to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No doubt. Now, Coop, when we went on that hunt a couple of months ago, these are the cans that you had on the rifles we were using, right?
No, they were not on that hunt.
Oh, okay. So I didn't get a chance. So I haven't
No.
shot them. I thought they were. Okay.
No, you and I heard the Strix though, and I can't remember if you shot it at Goals, at range day, or maybe that the Strix was what we didn't get to shoot, but we were standing right there when that little kid was shooting it off the 300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
We went down to Mitch's booth and we shot some stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But now during the Onslow Predator Challenge, when Mitch came down, we put the Strix against four or five other cans, and I've heard the Strix and seen it in action. None of my teammates had seen it, and we put the Strix up against Trash Pandas, Omegas, a couple other cans, and it was noticeably quieter. Enough, like I knew what was coming. The other guys didn't. And they slapped it on their guns, and they're like, "Oh, wow, this is awesome." And most of my teammates are shooting 6 arc. or 6.5 Creedmoor, 6mm Creedmoor, and the Strix definitely did well. I put the Badger 3 on my 6 arc, even though it is a 5.56 can, it will shoot 6 arc, and it performs wonderfully with that as well. I mean, that the Strix is a big boy, but I mean, even with a 30 cal hole, I put it on a bunch of different calibers, and it's amazing.
So the Strix is a 7.62.
You know, for
Go ahead.
Yep.
I was just
No,
reading.
yeah,
The Strix
so,
is a 7.62. It's a 8.7 overall length, or 9.2 overall length, and it weighs just under 20 ounces. So, do you have a shorter 7.62 rated?
Yeah, that'd be the Nocturnal.
The Nocturnal. Oh,
Yeah,
here. Yeah, go ahead. Here's the Nocturnal.
No, yeah, we can. The Nocturnal is one of those ones. Everyone always asks about like a K can. The Nocturnal is kind of I guess almost a catch-all. You can comfortably, by changing the hub and an end cap, you can shoot anything from a 17 HMR up through a 300 PRC through it. As far as like a smaller can, it's not a very large can. It's a little shorter, a little fatter than the Strix. I actually prefer it on my 6 arc. I need to get it down there to Coop so he can confirm it. Because he was asking me about the Badger 3, which works out really well on the 6 arc too. But the Nocturnal is for guys that are wanting I want one can to do all. That's generally the can I kind of edge them towards.
Mm-hmm. For the multi-caliber use. Now, which one do you recommend for AKs, specific AKs?
Well, I was getting ready. Wow, you're reading my mind. Get out of my mind.
Oh, we got them right here, buddy.
So here's the Nocturnal, and this one right here for the AK. This one is the Hammer.
The
Hammer. So this is basically a Nocturnal.
Hammer and
then
sickle.
You pan over to Mitch. He's got the Sickle, which is basically the Strix.
The Hammer and Sickle. I love it. That looks like a Pioneer Arms you got there.
I'll shoot you the video of me shooting this.
Is that the
video I've got shooting the Strix last weekend, or Sickle?
Is that the Pioneer Arms Hell Puppy?
It is the Hell Puppy.
Oh, you know it is. I got it from our buddy Marco.
Yeah, back when Pioneer was in business.
We got the last Hell Puppy from him.
I've got a couple back here. Those things are so overgassed. Do you find that
yes,
shooting it with the Sickle helps with that?
It definitely helps a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it hurts my hand.
It definitely definitely has like I also don't know if I would call it a trigger slap, but you feel it in your finger when you shoot it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it hurts my hand if I'm shooting.
Yeah, I do.
All day at the range with it.
Yeah, I definitely moved the gloves with it. I don't shoot it without gloves.
Yeah.
That's because when the Russians shoot, their hands are usually about half frozen. So
they've got all that extra padding anyway, right?
Yeah.
Tell us which one you want to try. We'll send you one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sounds like that Badger or the Hammer would be the ideal one. The Hammer. So
we had the Hammer on the AK we had there at Goals. I don't know if you got to shoot it or not.
I don't think I did. They had some jacked up, like stop in the range kind of stuff, and we were getting ready to shoot a bunch of your stuff, and then we had to go because they were jacking around with the range. I don't remember what happened, but anyway.
Well, on Instagram, the picture with my dog, the black dog, that's the hammer on that setup. I will be doing some videos shortly. I was using some Callaway Ballistics Subsonic. It was hilarious.
I don't see you with your dog. I'm looking for.
No, it's the picture. Go to the Instagram. It's like the latest post.
Here's Lily.
Go all the way up top.
Oh, okay. Here it is.
Yep. There
What's your dog's name?
Lenny.
Oh, Lenny.
Oh,
How do you name a dog Lenny?
Actually, the breeder named him Lenny, and it was her favorite, and the name just stuck. We were just like, we're just going to keep it Lenny.
Well, yeah, that's good. Good old Lenny. And were you just out at the range here, or were you hunting?
No, that's my property. My wife and I were taking a walk and just said, hey, I need to get some product shots going.
Is Lenny good at retrieving?
Yeah, he's a good boy. Oh no, I haven't trained him to hunt. No, I need somebody named Coop to help.
His wife's name's Rana. We call her the Filipino sniper. She's
probably a pretty good shot, right?
She's deadly. Good. She's accurate, man.
I found that women are usually, especially if they've never shot before, are usually really good their first time.
No, her dad raised her on an AR. She was out killing turtles in the pond when
snapping turtles
when she was 12 or something,
killing her duckies.
Nothing funner than taking a 22 out to the pond and popping the frogs at night.
No, this was a Colt from like 1970.
The serial number was like 1500 on it. Yeah.
Nice. So did we go through your line? We didn't talk about a javelin. Talk about the javelin.
So javelin and Cephos, they're both 9. The Cephos would be made from Inconel. Javelin is made from the RAM material. We're actually moving over to titanium for that instead. Then we have the 45. So you have the Slinger and the Carnix. The Carnix being made from Inconel. The Slinger will be made from titanium. And then another 9 that we're working with is the Overvaller. That's direct thread, no booster needed. It's the little guy, but it's pretty impressive for what it can do.
So I'm not seeing the Slingers on here, but that other one you said.
Yeah, we're updating the website. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those will be on there soon.
And the other 9 was called
up top. You go a little bit further, up a couple, a little bit more, and then the Overvaller right there.
Okay.
And then the next one would be the down a little bit more would be the Mortem. It's our little 22 guy. Extremely fun. Real lightweight.
2.8 ounces. Very nice. And
Ton and I have shot that one.
And then we have the Hammer and Sickle coming out soon.
Okay.
And then we have another direct thread titanium 30 cal coming out, more geared towards the hunting guys. That's going to be similar to the Nocturnal in length in the OD. So it's not going to be quite the Strix. It's not going to be quite the Nocturnal. So that'll be.
So is it just going to be the dimensions of it that are
very similar? And then I mean, this is the AK one, but it'll be direct thread only for the new titanium 30 cal that we're doing.
Okay. I just had a great question and it just eluded me. So, okay, that's what it was. So your internal design, is that the same for every can you have, or do you have different flow designs for different calibers?
For most of the rifles, it's the same. And then there are some variations with the pistol and with the Mortem calibers.
Okay. Can you talk about the differences, or is that something you don't want to talk about?
I don't know. Maybe not yet.
Okay. I mean, is that something you got like cross sections and you've shown, or?
No, I don't have the different cross sections. These are actually the ones we showed you here. they're very similar to what you're going to see, but there are differences now. So these are more of an older iteration.
Yeah. Are you guys tweaking around with the helix design? As far as like maybe compressing it, elongating it, adding more,
Yes. Yes, there is some adjustments that we're playing around with right now. I can't really go into too much detail about that one yet.
Sure.
But there's some other really cool tweaks that we can make internally, not just to the helix per se, but something else additionally that we can do internally that we're hoping it works out. Trial and error, you never know.
Right. And there's only so much room you've got inside a can to begin with that you can, possibly. But with technology, the way it's going, where are you guys seeing the future of suppressors going?
Definitely. I mean, there's always going to be a space for subtractive. Additive definitely will be more people.
Well, let's do, before you go any further, we've said subtractive and additive, and maybe that some of our listeners may not get that, but I understand what you're saying, but talk about what you're talking about with subtractive and additive.
Yeah, subtractive starts with a big hunk of material, and you have to whittle it down basically to get the shape you want.
Then you can laser weld, so you can put these cones together, and then you can laser weld them. So you have different internals. You can tweak the internals, but you wouldn't be able to achieve per se what you are with additive.
Yeah.
So there's the traditional way of making suppressors, and I believe there'll always be a space for it.
Yeah, there's a price point for everything.
Yep.
And that's taking the block of
mid to high as far as price.
That's taking the block of metal and then cutting away, doing CNC or whatever the process is to get that. And then you've got the baffles that are separate pieces. And you say some people weld those, but some of them have them where you can take the baffles out.
Correct. Yeah, you can. Take them off.
Take them off. Change the configure. Some of them have you can change the configuration. There's a lot of different technologies out there.
Yeah.
And I guess they all have their pros and cons. What would be the pros or maybe the cons of a multi-piece suppressor?
Well, definitely
that would be I don't think anybody's 3D printing a multiple piece. Are they all the 3D printed that I know of are all one piece right now?
Yeah, that we've seen.
Yeah, that I know of. Yeah.
So talk about the multiple piece where it's the subtractive and then they're doing the baffles. Where do they weld them or don't weld them?
What's your take on that one, Mitch? How would you describe that one?
I guess my thing is on making multiple pieces is you're making more places for failure. In my opinion, you have parts moving, parts with potential moving,
more moving parts
moving, or if it gets slow, that's not good.
That's a good answer, Mitch, coming from a guy that can tear things up.
That's the infantry in him.
I told you I was lying.
It is total grunt right there.
Oh yeah, we know how to break stuff.
Yep. If it can be broke, I can break it.
That's the ultimate test. Give it to an 18-year-old grunt.
Yeah.
What's the serviceability of your suppressors?
So they've come afar. I mean, different suppressor cleaning companies. They've come out with some great solutions for baths.
Some of them are eco-friendly.
Look at that.
Still one. They've got a specific suppressor cleaner now.
Yeah. You have Otis is getting into the game. You have Breakthrough. There's a lot of different good options out there. The passive way is a bath, soaking it for an extended period of time. Their ultrasonic cleaners have come down in price considerably. So that is
I wanted to talk to you about that also. I mean, you bring up solution versus the ultrasonic. In your opinion, what do you think is the best way to go?
Well, it depends on your material.
Okay.
There's if you hard coat anodize aluminum, then you have added protection that you can then do an ultrasonic bath. If you don't do it for aluminum, you'll tear it up. Inconel, stainless, titanium, you can do ultrasonic cleaners on them. It's a great way to put it in there and walk away for a little bit, and you'll come out squeaky clean. So it's definitely the market is really.
What do you recommend for yours?
I mean, we do both. We have ultrasonic clean ourselves. We got from Harbor Freight for our range cans. We do breakthrough. We'll do baths. We'll soak them for a while. Otis cleaner works great as well. It's a little bit more gentle on aluminum. Like I know you can't use breakthrough on aluminum. Like if it's hard coat anodized, yeah, you could. But yeah, that's kind of what we pick which route you want to go with.
So when you're using a solution in yours, because it's all one piece, you're just putting it in there, swashing it around, and then blowing it out.
Get a nylon brush and kind of clean up the threads a little bit and rinse it.
So with the Inconel,
well,
go ahead.
One of the perks of flow through is it's actually kicking some of that out while you're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's not building up as much.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to ask you about is the heat dissipation. So versus traditional cans, the traditional metals versus the 3D printed with the Inconel. Talk about the heat dissipation between the two.
You ran full auto runs.
Yeah. Do you have that on top of your head, Mitch? When we were doing the range day with those guys at the Dayton gun store, trying to remember how many rounds we had sent through it.
Well, we ran. We had a clone of like an HK-74 on full auto, but we started getting that Badger 3 red hot, but by that time I think we were like on mag 7 or 8 30 round mags. So it started to, and then the gun got to the point where the gun was too hold the hot, the handle. So you can get them hot, but the catch is, either way we got it red hot.
Get it red hot.
And I think within about it's
like Mitch is freezing on us.
You're going in and out on us there, Mitch. We missed the last part.
Okay. All right. So I'll try to say it quicker. So we were running and we got it to the point where it was red hot. It took quite a bit, but within 10 minutes, I was able to grab it with my hand and take it off. I mean, it was still hot, but it wasn't burning my hand hot.
Have you done any? Are there any studies out there for that, as far as the different metals and the heat dissipation materials?
There's standard charts you can look up for how fast.
I just thought you guys might know it right off. If you don't, that's okay.
No, I don't know. I don't. Unfortunately,
I just know it's one of the ultimate metals out there for shedding heat.
Yeah.
The Inconel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to know. So it's more of a quicker dissipator than maybe titanium or something like that.
Well,
and if we ever would hit,
I guess
hit from wall as far as heat, we can go one step further, but there's no need to at this point.
Yeah. And what kind of studies have you done on the thickness of cans? Is there like a sweet spot diameter that's that there's a sweet spot that you don't want to go too far wide, you don't want to go too thin. And I know it's caliber related, but
yeah,
let's just stick
well,
5.56.
So what's the DB drop versus the Badger on Bantam versus Badger again?
The Bantam is that little Bantam is 27 decibel drop, and I think the Strix was a 32. So, and then you got the secret one. The Coop got to shoot last time I was down there. That was that shorty that was close to a 30 degree decibel drop on an AR.
Yeah, and that guy was sitting because it was over the barrel, so end result ends up being 3 inches sticking out from your gun, and the OD on it's 2 inches for a 5.56. So short, fatty, but it outperforms the Badger, so it's pretty impressive. But that's one that we're fooling around with right now.
Let's do this. I've got other questions, but I want to get into our listener questions before we run out of time here. So I'll make a post usually before we have each guest on, and I ask for your questions, your comments, and then we reward those who participate. So we got with such short notice, we got quite a bit of participation on this one, more than I was expecting. So let's go through these questions, and I'll start off with most recent. And it comes from our good buddy Floody. With all the new tech coming out for 3D printing suppressors, how are you guys staying ahead of the curve to continue innovative? And more importantly, when are we hitting the karaoke bar again?
Because it's such a great place to have a business meeting.
Yeah. That was a fun time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, it was. It was good. Some people had some good voices.
Didn't like the food, but the entertainment was great. So what do you guys, innovative, what do you guys, probably my question, where do you see the future of suppressors headed? And how are you guys staying on top of that?
How would you?
Well, there's some things that we're already experimenting with on internal coatings that are having a significant effect as far as number of rounds fired. I won't say the coatings at this point, but they're coming. So yeah, there's always,
are you saying coatings or coatings?
Coating.
Yeah.
Like Cerakote?
Yeah, like a different type of coating.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you also through trial and error. It sounds rudimentary, but yeah, it's definitely just trying out new things, seeing what works, what fails.
Yeah.
It's not.
And how are you getting intel on things to try? Are you working with government entities that are saying, "Hey, we want to see this"?
No, mainly feedback from others in the industry, giving us great advice. We definitely we don't have egos, so you can tell us a lot of different things. Everyone has a great idea. It's worth talking about.
Sure.
And we're just very open, and we like that we end up becoming friends and associated with some really cool people in the industry, because it's just kind of where we're led by God and by just our character as who we are as people.
Yeah. The real key to success is long-term relationships. We don't like to bounce in and out. We like to find those people who are like us that are just kind of steady and solid.
But being in the automotive industry also, are you seeing maybe some things that you're doing in the automotive industry? You're like, maybe that would work over here also. And
things always they always transfer over and leverage.
Especially with heat, when you guys are dealing with heat and friction and, those type things. I wanted to, when you said the Cerakote, that was something I was going to ask earlier, is about, with the coatings. Cerakote seems to be like the bee's knees, it's just what everybody uses is Cerakote. Where
So
do you
you
see
have-
the coatings coming? Because it being in the aerospace industry, also having the aerospace background, there's got to be some technology there that would be, very useful. Like I was, talking about the heat shields when they're coming back into the Earth's atmosphere and things like that. There's got to be some definite positives for that to transfer over to the gun industry.
Yeah, there definitely is. One of the companies I worked for was the old Aranca aircraft company that did all the heat shields. Some of the tech we developed also transferred forward to the Orion spacecraft. It's all there. It comes back to price point, though. You pick up an aerospace part that looks like this, and instead of $1,000, it's $3,000. It'll do some really cool stuff, but
yeah,
do you need it?
Let me ask you this: if price wasn't an issue, and you were going to build the ultimate suppressor right now, material, the coating, the configuration, internal configuration, and all that, what kind of price would you think that would?
You would double it.
Oh, that's all? You would just double it?
You would double it. Of course, it comes up to economic order quantities and all that stuff starts playing into it. What you're going to make.
Have you done any experiments with like meteorites?
No, I thought about that.
We're waiting. I've been waiting my whole life for one to land in my backyard. It's like $100,000 an ounce or something stupid.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because I literally was like, man, that'd be cool just to powder that meteorite up.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Again, price not being an issue. Do you think there's something there with that material? Because I know there's people that make
heavy
11s out of them.
Yeah, it'd be really heavy.
Isn't that Cabot Arms? Don't they do that? The meteorite.
Yeah, that really nice. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With these guys, I'm gonna frickin' brag on them a little bit. Don't let it go to your heads, fellas. Jim, you're all right because you just met me, but Ethan and Mitch, anyways. But the thing I like about these guys, is that they, unlike a lot of other companies, Ethan said they don't have egos, and they're very correct on that. And when you speak to them or you have an idea, they're very receptive and willing to have a great discussion about it, whether, and it's a two-way street, they've asked a multitude of people that I know or myself, like, hey, what do you think about this? Right. Or, we've said to them, like, Drew and I, we say like, hey, you guys, a dedicated hunting can, it can be made out of titanium, and they're like, well, maybe we'll take a look at that. They're, the ability to have a relationship like that with a company, I think, is amazing, and kind of sets them apart. Because there's a lot of companies that just think very highly of themselves and disregard what you have to say, because you're not a content creator with 200,000 followers, even though those people don't know Jack and S. You know what I mean? So having a conversation with these, they're very receptive. I think that that leads to innovation.
Yeah.
So I think that's great, and is going to be it's one of these guys' strengths.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
it definitely takes a team to put together a kick-ass product.
This has gone to Mitch's head, by the way. Just
yeah,
you know.
well, Tony,
his head got bigger while I was talking. I just saw that.
I had to shrink his screen. So here's something else that I wanted to ask you guys about. Is with all the different companies, you got all the different attachments, and you got to get this proprietary muzzle device to be able to mount this can, and that's kind of pros and cons also, because technology and people innovative and finding out different ways to get the best connection. But I would like to see some sort of a standardization. What's your guys' opinion as far as attaching goes? The direct thread versus the other means.
Yeah. When it comes to the QD stuff, we like Reardon a lot. Mitch, you can talk more about that portion of it.
Okay. So I am transparent. So I'm a direct thread fan. So you can't convince me. You have a hard time convincing me where QD is so much better than direct thread. But there's some good QD options out there. It all depends on the end user. I'm a big direct thread fan because once again, you're not creating any extra points where something could pivot where you could end up with a failure somewhere else.
But don't we need to talk to the Russians about their left-hand thread stuff?
Well, that kind of goes to this question. I was listening to this. Go ahead. Okay. Boba 1776. He says, when looking for a can for AK, he's got a KP9 in particular. Should I look for a mounting system that works with the detent or not? Why one over the other?
Well,
so, with the AKs, they've got that little.
Well, according to
Marco, direct thread's the only way to go, especially on the AK. But the way our AK cans are designed, there you go. The way our AK cans are designed, they're actually designed to index onto that pin at the end. So you are locking that that pin is actually locking that AK or the suppressor in place on that rifle. Do you have an adapter for that? Because the left hand.
So we make different.
That's how they're printed.
Inches. Yeah, so it'd be 14 by 1 left, or we have the 24 by 1/2.
Okay, so you specifically do that. Mm-hmm. Okay, nice. That's something that we need to get out there and let people know.
Yeah.
So for your 9mm, do you do that? Offer that also?
No, we haven't played around with that yet.
Okay.
But that is definitely that's a good idea. And then Marco was saying, "Hey man, you got to get a 5.56 one." So we've been playing with some words.
Yeah.
On the 5.56.
Got 22s also. I don't know who all. I mean, Pioneer was making them. I don't know if they're with their new distributor if they're going to continue those or not. But yeah, the 5.56 are huge now. The AK 5.56s. So yeah, good question, Bobus. Nikolai Aplanap, 3D printed versus traditional baffles. What are the pros and cons of each? I think we kind of talked about that. Question 2, why don't I have one of these yet? Can't wait to get all the details. Let the medication begin. And he meant to say legication instead of medication. Yeah, clarified that. But yeah, just go to their website, which is Disavowed Arms. Is it Disavowed Group?
DisavowedGroup.com.
I had it up earlier there. I'll pull it up again. Actually, I think I got a little scroller here I made for you guys. So here it is.
We have a dealer map. You can go on there and we also, our distributor is Iron Valley Supply. That's our first distributor. So, and then you can always, again, send us we don't have the online ordering on our website, but you can always contact us and let us know what you'd like.
Well, you guys partnered with, what's that? The kiosk?
Cerberus?
No, the kiosk.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to
Silencer Co. or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's the Silencer Shop.
Silencer Shop, yeah.
But no, the one that we've worked with is Dan Peterson over at Cerberus Live Scan.
Okay.
He's a competitor to Silencer Shop.
Okay. I've never used that one. I've just used Silencer Shop. So
mm-hmm.
Let's see where you guys are in Tennessee. You're all over Tennessee here. Very nice. So up in here's where I am, Murfreesboro. So you're up in the Nashville, Franklin area, down in Chattahoochee a little bit. You're over here in the armpit of Memphis. Knox Vegas, very nice. Up in Johnson City. Okay, very cool.
Maybe we just start referring, to the traditional baffle stack cans as legacy. They're the legacy cans.
Legacy,
right? I mean,
I
a
like
little
the way you think.
play. Hey, everybody loves a little play on words. Like, oh, do you want the legacy or do you want the new age? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
You should go to marketing.
Lights out Okie Coyotes. He said, with 3D printing in the course of your R&D, did you see a certain lifespan round count before there was degradation in the suppressor's ability to suppress or any catastrophic failures? Are the suppressors able to be broken down for cleaning? We talked about that. Or left whole and cleaned in a sonic cleaner. Really excited for this. So we talked about the last part of that. So his first part was during your R&D, what were you finding as far as lifespan, round count, falling off on the DBs? What are you holding up there, Coop?
Yeah.
Got a Keltec CMR 30 with the Bantam on it.
Nice.
Gonna show it to some guys who are coming to hunt here in a little bit.
But to answer your question, no degradation. Have we broken any? Yes, during prototyping, pushing wall thicknesses too thin. It's part of you gotta, just like Elon Musk, you gotta break things, break and recover.
Yeah.
But the true testament definitely is the Oak Ridge can on the Range 31. Just how many years it's been there, how many rounds it's been through it. That's definitely a testament to the longevity of our
And
design.
say that again, how long and how many rounds?
Do you know how many years that's been, Mitch, since it's been on that range? It's like over 10. And
I
round-wise,
was told
I
it's
am
been
not
there
sure.
since 2015.
2015? Okay.
And they're still using it.
Yes.
Okay. And Oak Ridge, you're talking about in Knoxville?
Yes. Last time
the nuclear. You're talking about the nuclear facility, Oak Ridge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They do a lot of they do a lot more range time than people actually know about. So
it's quite a facility.
That is a testament of the durability. So that said, warranty. Talk about your warranty on your products.
Yeah, lifetime warranty. We designed them to have removable end caps because that will be typically the point of failure if something were to happen. So you just swap out the end cap. If there's any further failure that happens, we take a look at it, see what happened, and take care of the customer. There's no problem.
Not mentioning customers, talk about well, Jim, you were going to say something. Go ahead, and then I'll ask my question.
Just Oak Ridge real quick. Keep in mind, every one of these that we sell, the royalty goes back to Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
That's how they finance themselves forward to
nice.
new technology. But it also gives us access to some PhDs that are a hell of a lot smarter than I'll ever be. So it's
I heard a stat one time that the that department of I think it's Department of Energy actually is what they fall under.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yep.
They order more ammo and use more ammo than any other branch of the military or anything. I heard that one time. I don't know how accurate that is, but
part of development
gives you an idea of the scale of the I won't say militarized division of that department, but
and again, all they're trying to do is design stuff that an 18-year-old grunt cannot break. That's their big goal, probably.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what I was going to say, but anyway, the next question: the GAT Lab. We all know in the world of physical science, there's no such thing as free lunch. But do you see a day when the three-way ratio, he says ratio of suppressor, gas flow, size are in much closer relationship. Well, I think that's inevitable. I mean, as technology gets better and designs get better, that's ultimately going to happen, right?
Yeah. I mean, you start to really tailor caliber specific on each can. So you'll kind of find the Goldilocks of what works best.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of great companies out there. There's big pie for all of us to eat. Sometimes competition will come up with something that we're like, you know what? We should take a look at that.
Have you guys tried anything, a shape other than cylindrical? Have you tried triangle, rectangle?
We have an internal design that we've spoken about, and we have not tried it yet.
Yeah, I would think that there's probably some merit to trying the different shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Other than cylindrical, because again, the whole goal is to break up the gas, slow it down, and then dissipate it.
Yeah. But then the problem you might have too is, if you do go with a triangle pattern, it's you can't get too your OD can't be too big, because then you'll start messing with some of your site clearance issues.
But at the same time, you could still put a cylindrical cover over that design. I don't know.
You could,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean, the outside could still be cylindrical looking, but the inside still could have anyway, that's just my thought. He goes on to say, will there ever be a need case for steel tube silencers to be made any longer in the next few years? And how do you feel about multi-use versus dedicated caliber silencers? Good question.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like we said before, definitely still think legacy cans are still going to be a thing, right, Coop?
Yeah.
There still will always be a place for that. Multi versus dedicated, again, depends on your application. If you're a dad and want to shoot with your kids and you have a 30 cal and you want to shoot a 5.56, it'll still get the job done. It won't sound the same as a dedicated can.
Right.
Then, you go into combat situations or law enforcement, you can talk about that part.
Where you're after accuracies, yeah.
I mean,
they threw the ball to you.
Yeah. You look at your first responders, or can you hear me, or am I glitching again?
Yeah, no, we hear you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, if you go to your first responders or like infantry or soft unit, overall length, it's always a thing. So yeah, you at that point you're probably looking at cans that a certain size for specific jobs. If that makes any sense. And then and Ethan touched on, if you're just one guy and you've got one can that wants to do a lot, there's that also. So
yeah, I don't
think. Oh, go ahead, Coop.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go to people are like, well, this is it. This is just the one. You know what I mean? It's like, what's your budget? What are you using it for? Are you a hunter? Are you an operator? Are you a SWAT guy? Are you just a guy who's got a metric F ton of money and you like to spend it, right? Like,
meteorite can.
Yeah, right. Build me a meteorite can now.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, we like those guys.
Yeah, but those are great clients and customers. And there's always like we've been talking about this whole time, right? Technology is always going to evolve, right? Calibers. I mean, look at the amount of new calibers that have just come out in the last 3 years alone. Calibers, powders. Cases, right? And continuously refining all this stuff is going to continue to drive the market. A bunch of conversations that we've had, it's like, hey, this is what's awesome right now, but what is going to be the next best thing that's going to sell like hotcakes? Like, what is that? What is that in the suppressor market? What is that in the caliber and ammo market? So I think it's a continual evolving thing.
Air guns. Where you're getting out of combustion fired guns, and you're getting into new technology. With the air guns are coming along. The rail guns. What's going to be the next?
Yeah.
Projectile.
We've had a lot of moderator conversations, haven't we, fellas?
All right, Mustang Perry, do you see the 3D printed manufacturing ultimately bringing the cost of cans down? What are the downsides of printing, durability, maintenance, replacement parts? Also, want to second the dedicated versus multiple can question. We talked about that. This is going to be an awesome episode.
So I would say yes and no, that it will bring the cost down. So the big thing is, if the NFA goes away for suppressors overnight, everything becomes $200 cheaper. But then right now, as it sits, the demand for suppressors versus the supply is still not there yet. It will drive even more demand and supply issues for the time being. The machines are quite costly. Eventually, they will go down in price.
If you buy a good one, they're $1 million a pop.
Yep. The problem being is it takes them anywhere from 3 to 6 months to build a new machine. And then what place in line are you to get that machine? Then if you go to find a contract manufacturer, finding a good one sometimes is difficult. So the good ones will be inundated with work. So for the time, eventually there will be a price difference, but I'd say initially, especially in the additive, it will take time. The other thing to be concerned about is the race to the bottom, because sometimes you're sacrificing quality, steps are getting skipped, and the end user ends up being the one who suffers. So I think keeping, I believe in a good deal, but at the same time, it's keeping things safe. And again, it's just being able to catch up with the demand, with the supply to catch up with it.
We won't compromise on quality. Like you said, we don't want to race to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
We want to stay where we know it's safe, it's effective.
Yeah.
As more additive machines hit the market, the cost will come down.
Mm-hmm. But kind of like a CNC lathe when they first came out.
Yeah. Sure. It's like
and now it's just another capital equipment that you buy.
Supply catches up. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yes, it still has a price tag to it, but that's the same deal with additive. When Congressman Warren Davison visited our factory, he talked about how Trump really wants to focus on additive being a strategic part of our defense capability.
This only been a month ago. He was there. So
it's definitely, it's growing, and I think it will eventually bring the cost down. And then, for example, when we were talking about Inconel, the powder of Inconel was very expensive years ago, and now it's down to, I think, $90 or $91 a kilo. That's pretty fair. You start getting more competition out there. It will drive costs down, but it's just, there will be a gap. There will be a time period in which it'll take a little while for that to happen.
But he mentioned Warren Davidson, our congressman. Warren was an Army Ranger, and he stood in our office and he's holding one of these. He's like, "This is not a weapon. It shouldn't be on the NFA list." So everybody who's listening, go to your congressman and tell him the NFA, list is bull.
He said on a rifle, a scope is more deadly than a suppressor.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Oh, I remember what my question was. and now I forgot it again. Oh, the warranty.
Mhm.
I remember what it was now. What's the what's the reason people are sending maybe cans back to you guys for warranty issues? What's the most common warranty issue, I guess?
I'd say some end cap strikes, but they don't have to send the can back for something like that. We swap it out. We had a local guy come in who bought it from a gun store near us. He found out how close we were, and he was over the moon. So he came by and visited us, and we were taking a look, and there seemed to be an issue with his threading. But that's more of a post-secondary process issue. We addressed the issue. It ended up not being an issue at all. We fixed it right there on the spot, and he went on his way.
Yeah. Are you guys getting any baffle strikes or anything like that? I can't imagine with the helical and you're getting
not baffle. Again, most of everything we're seeing is end cap strikes.
The end cap is
but very, very minimal.
Yeah.
A lot of it goes back to quality of ammunition. Also, make sure you keep the thing threaded on tight. is potentially an issue.
What do you recommend? Is there a material or something that we can use to ensure a tighter lock on there when we're doing the like direct threads and whatnot?
Yeah, it's the Rocksat, right, Mitch?
Yeah, there's a whole range of lock types.
If you're going to put anything on it, Rocksat. Do not put red Loctite. Do not put red Loctite on your flipping suppressor.
That's good to know. I mean, because some people may think, hey,
Rocksat's a good go-to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do look at the Loctite products, there's a range of them. They've got literally hundreds of different levels of Loctite.
Is this the rock set that you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I just pulled it up on Amazon. So it's on there.
The perk is if you put it on, it locks it on there. It's not coming loose. They claim if you put it in water, it'll help break it apart. If you put your gun in a vise, you can break it over, and it almost breaks like glass. It really doesn't gum your threads up all that bad when you actually go to take it off. So it's not like you're scrubbing your threads clean.
Yeah. Okay. Shep Guns. It says, I have one can with another just arriving at the gun shop today. Thanks again, Lefty and Dead Air. I'll be looking at another soon for a 22 to aid in teaching my girls. What quality should I prioritize when looking for a 22 can?
Shooting.
Oh, you're saying like you're asking which model for ours?
I think he's just like if he's shopping other companies. He said, "What should I be looking for in a 22 can to get a 22 can?"
Let me think of how to answer that.
Okay. And while you're thinking about that, I want to go back to like the warranty issues that you have. So you're saying that this one guy had an issue and you just sent him a replacement. Is that another tax stamp that they have to do at that point?
In that event, we pay the tax stamp.
Okay.
That's been done once.
Okay. Just curious because I know there are some companies that will, the inside's not the registered part, it's the outside or whatever. So if they have like baffle strikes or something like that, they can just send them new internals and there's no tax stamp or anything like that. So I guess maybe one of the benefits of having instead of an all one piece suppressor versus having a serviceable one, I guess. So just wanted to throw that out there. But did that buy you time to come up with your answer?
Do you? What's your take on this one, Mitch? for the 22. What to look for?
As far
the quality.
As far as the 22 suppressor, it's a 22. So you don't want to break the bank, because if anything's going to gum up your suppressor, it'll be a 22. Something light, you don't know it's on the end of your rifle or the end of your pistol, which makes it great for kids, especially younger kids, where weight could actually be an issue with them shooting correctly.
What about length? Anything like that? Is there a certain length that works better on a 22? Should they be looking at a certain size?
I mean, we've played around with different lengths for our mortem. We first started out around 5.5 inches by 1. And then we settled on the current one, which is about 4.5 inches. And the OD on it is, I can't remember off the top of my head.
1.5?
No, it's not that much. It's
Let me pull up your website.
1 point. If it's current, let me see if it's current. It might be the new one coming, the new iteration.
Is it the Slinger?
No, the Mortem.
The Mortem. Here's no pictures, but let's see if there's stats. Yeah, here's some stats. 4.5 inch width or length. It's 2.8 ounces. It's aluminum-based alloy, proprietary.
And does it say the OD on it?
I was trying to go through your.
It's just under 1.25 inches.
Okay, that's right.
1.25 inches. Okay. I'm not seeing.
Just under.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't guess there's like anything really specific that weight would be I guess the key, and yours is pretty damn light, 2.8 ounces.
Yeah, and definitely is cleaning schedule of your 22. That was a good point. The CCI, the clean, what they call the hyper cleans or something like that. The little polymer tipped guys. First they had the supers, and they came out with the subs. That definitely helps keep some fouling out, some some of the debris and the nature of 22. So that's some good ammo to use, some clean ammo.
Okay. I think that's most of the questions there. So good questions, guys, and great participation on such short notice. Appreciate everybody who submitted their questions. So let's do this. Let's reward those participants. And what I want to do is I want to pick one, because you guys are going to put up like a swag pack or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
For one of the listeners here. So let's do that first. So let's award that. So, and we'll just do a round table, and we'll vote on who we think had the best question, and we'll award them the. So which question did you think was the best, Coop? Of course, he just moves.
Oh man, probably.
And I don't count. You can't include me because I had the best question.
Shoot.
Or would it be easier if we just randomly did a number pick?
Might want to just randomly do a number, because I can't think of the question in its entirety.
Okay. Yeah, we had a lot of good questions and some overlap on some of those. So, was there one that just stood out to you guys, Ethan, Jim?
I mean, they're all good questions. I'd say a top question for probably a lot of people that they think about is definitely the future of 3D. Is it going to bring costs down eventually? I think that was a good question.
Yeah, that was a good question. I concur with that.
Let me see who did that one.
Everybody always wants things to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Hey, Yes, sir.
Do you see the 3D manufacturing ultimately bringing the cost down of cans? Mustang Perry had that one. So is that who you'd like to award your swag pack to?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Sure.
I mean, that's the one we're doing. So, all right, Mustang Perry, you're the winner. Was it going to be like a hat, shirt? What are we doing here?
Yeah, we got a hat, and we have sorry, can't think. We're doing a discount on a suppressor, so he can choose the model he wants and get a
Very nice.
5% discount.
Well, there you go. That's one way to bring the cost down right there, Mustang.
Yeah.
Is get a 5% discount to go buy. You should give that to the guy who's looking for the 22. He's looking to buy one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Shep Guns.
How about all the questions can get a discount?
We'll give it across the board.
Yep, they get a hold of us and we'll give them a discount.
Okay. All right, Mustang
he just gets a hat, I guess. Too,
Mustang gets the hat and the discount, and then everybody else. And I know who you are. You get the discount code, and you have to email me, talkingled@gmail.com, and I will give you the code. I'm not going to give it over the air here because it's just for the people who participated. And I'll read your names. Flood, as of this, I have Flood Munitions. I have Bobus 1776. I have Mustang Perry. I have Nikolai Aplanap. I have B Hurst 87. Lights Out Okie Coyotes. Shep Guns. The Gat Lab. And that's the ones I'm seeing so far. That's what I have as of this recording. So email me, talkingled@gmail.com. Make sure you put in the subject what episode this is and what you are emailing me about. So Mustang, you'll put in there the hat and the discount code, and everybody else will put the disavowed discount code, and we'll send that to you. So we're also going to give away Seal One cleaning kit from Seal One and Done. They also have suppressor cleaning kit. Maybe I'll have him do a suppressor cleaning kit. Well, you'll get something from Seal One. And the way we're going to do that and the Mission First giveaway, which Mission First, we're going to do a dump tray, one of their awesome dump trays, which we use these for our, I do for my gunsmithing when I'm disassembling my guns and cleaning them or putting them together, taking them apart. I use this for that. You can also use them for your wallet dumps and all that. And it'll have the new Talking Lead logo. Maybe I'll get Disavowed logo put on there too and send that. But we're going to give those away to people who go to the Reason Outdoors. Coop, I'm going to pull that website up.
That's amazing because we have a giveaway going right now, and second or third place for the giveaway is a Disavowed Bantam.
Oh, nice. Talk about that giveaway then. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
You're holding it up. Hold it up.
Yeah, this is it.
That's it right there. So our current giveaway going till March 31st, $25 a ticket. If you buy 4, you get 1 free. First place is a year's worth of labs and TRT from Atlantic TRT. Second place is a Trump engraved Glock 19. Third place is a Disavowed Group Bantam suppressor. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that, by the way. And fourth place is a supplement package from 50% Natty. So you can find that on the reasonoutdoors.org, or you can go to our Instagram page, _reason_outdoors_, and you'll find that link in our bio or on our Facebook page as well.
Okay. And I've got your website pulled up right here. Probably, is there a link in your bio on the Instagram? Is that what you said?
There is. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So go there and you guys can enter that giveaway. But what I want you to do is for the Seal One winner and the AK or the Mission First Tactical dump tray, I want you to go to his website, and they have a here it is. Get involved link. So you go to click on the get involved. It's contact us. And it says, why are you contacting us? I don't know. Any of those will work. And then put your name, your email address. Do they have to put the phone?
They don't have to if they don't want
Don't have to put phone. I have to put company. And then how did you hear about us? Fill that in. Then down in the message, put your lead head. But this is lead head, whatever your name is. And you want to get more involved. How can you get more? If you want to make a donation, whatever it may be, I want you to fill that out. Let them know that you heard this on this podcast, and this is for the SEAL 1 and the Mission First Tactical. So the first two that Coop gets are going to be the winners of that. So he will contact me and let me know who you are, and then I will get in touch with you. I will let you know that you're the winner. So put all that in the message. There's a place down there for a message. So put your mailing address, email address, who you are, all that. And that's how you're going to win those two prizes. So what do you think about that, Coop?
Yeah. That's great. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So there you go. So I'll be waiting to hear from those. But in the meantime, all you others, email me. We'll get you the discount codes, and Mustang will get you that awesome hat. I want to make a suggestion on your hats, by the way.
What now?
I want to make a suggestion on your hats.
Okay.
I don't know if you still have this hat or not, but I don't. You need to get like a hat like Coop's got.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of material where they're not like pointy.
Oh, okay.
They're foamy or foam. Yeah. Just saying, because you guys got an awesome logo. I love your.
My wife did it.
Did the logo?
Yeah, she's snazzy.
Not only is she an awesome shooter, but she's a graphic design artist as well. Okay.
Then we are going to be at NRA. Just wanted to mention that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring that up. So
we're going to be in the Wooks booth. I can't remember the number for the life of me. It's like 29 something. They're next to Dead Air, actually.
Okay. So give them reason to walk around and find you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm sure as it gets closer to time, you guys will have stuff on your Instagram. You'll probably have to see us at booth.
Yeah, correct.
Whatever. So, and then your Instagram is, give that. I gave it earlier, but go ahead and give it again. I think I got it scrolling down here somewhere. Here it is, at Disavowed _Group _actual. And I think if you just do at Disavowed Group, it'll come up. Then you can click on it that way. But yeah, NRA's coming up. What is that? April 24th through the 27th, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
In hot Atlanta. So I don't know if we're going to be there yet or not. Talking to some people about possibly hosting the lead quarters at their booth. So if we get that worked out, then we will be there. I may show up anyway because Atlanta's not too far away from Murfreesboro. I just don't like Atlanta. I hate Atlanta.
Same here.
Any excuse I can get not to go there is a great excuse. Anything else that we need to get out there for the lead heads that you guys want to? Do we talk about everything that you want to talk about?
I think so. This being our first podcast, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you are new guys.
Yeah.
So I got to hit you with the new guy questions.
Uh-oh.
All right. Before we sign off. So now it's time for the Talking Lead. New guy questions. So backgrounds for you guys. I know Mitch has got military background. Talk about your background, Mitch. Law enforcement, military.
Oh yeah, I was the Army 101st 11 Bravo guy for several years. I got out. I did the cop thing for a little while. So it wasn't. I love first responders, love cops. Just local. It was not really my bag. So I got out of it. I don't know, kind of bounced around a little bit as far as jobs after that, and started working with Jim and these guys. So it's I get to do something I get to do something I preach to my kids now. I get to do something I get paid to do something I enjoy doing. So it's nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with Ethan, because I know Jim's going to have a nice, great background.
Yeah, he's going to have a great background.
Yeah.
No, I did not serve in the military.
Sure. College?
What now?
College?
Some. I almost finished.
We have better things to do.
Yeah.
So most geniuses didn't.
I was taking business management and entrepreneur, and I said, why am I paying money to be an entrepreneur and when I can be one?
Yeah.
Starting the business so young at 16, and eventually it burgeoned into offering the entire family jobs. My brother-in-laws, my aunt, cousins, Mitch's cousin of mine.
Oh, okay. Nepotism strong with you guys.
Very strong. Very strong.
We also work the grandkids when they're like 8 years old, so we get around child labor laws.
Yeah, I think we're related.
Starting it so young, it's basically the only thing I've really known. I've done odd jobs in the past, different sectors, but that was all while this was getting built to be able to sustain full-time positions. So I'm extremely thankful for what I do, and that I'm able to continue the manufacturing background of our family, because I'm the sixth, or I'm the fifth. I'm the fifth. My son and daughters will be the sixth generation manufacturing. So it's definitely hard work, but there's the pros and cons. But doing all of this, it's taught me a lot of great life lessons. I've had to learn a lot that you can't get taught.
Have you guys always been in Ohio?
Yeah.
Born and reared.
1820 that we know of.
1820.
Yeah.
You're like the Duttons. Yellowstone.
Well, we don't have enough land.
Well, that's coming, I'm sure. How about you, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I was in the Marines in 79. High marksman, honor graduate. I served under Captain Barnum, who was Congressional Medal of Honor, Vietnam, 67. All my drill instructors were Vietnam vets. I never saw any action myself, luckily. And went to college, bachelor's degree, worked for several aerospace companies, lots of military programs, F-15, 16, 18, nice. LCAC, which was the Marines' big air cushion deal. So a lot of stuff along that line. And then just wrapped up my 43-year quality career. Was vice president of quality for Emerson, which is a worldwide company. I had responsibility over about 14 time zones. So that's been a year ago. I've retired. And
Lord,
what did we do? We went and bought a factory. As soon as it was November 6th, we were waiting to pull the trigger on the factory till we were sure Trump was getting in. And I know that how pro manufacturing is. So we're just kind of waiting for that windfall to occur, not only in automotive, but also in firearms.
Right.
And all industry, honestly, with
metal,
with the reshoring, with the tariff, with American manufacturing becoming so much stronger.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good place to be in.
Very cool. Now, you said the air cushions. Is that the ones that
landing craft air cushion? Is the huge one with two big propellers on it, and
The ones that'll glide over landmines.
Yeah. It's got enough air capacity, if I remember right. If you blow a hole in the cushion this big, the turbines can still pump enough air to keep it floating.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing piece.
That's
It's
cool.
a hovercraft on steroids.
Yeah, it is.
You ever been on one of those, Coop?
I'd hate to see a bunch of them coming at me.
Many times.
Wow.
Oh, what's that? You've seen him in action?
He's been on.
I've ridden on them a lot.
Oh, have you? I've never had the pleasure. I made parts for him. We did 50 caliber ballistic tests on them. Those were fun.
That's awesome.
It's actually on the blueprint. Has to withstand a 50 cal hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sounds right.
What was your first exposure experience shooting a gun, firearm? Something other than a pellet gun.
Oh, mine was NRA course in safety. It was a
How old were
World
you?
War II Navy vet taught me how to shoot.
How old were you?
I was 10, I believe.
What do you remember the gun? Was it a 22?
Oh yeah, it was a Remington 22 target rifle. Nothing
Was it your
fancy.
own, or was it one that they provided for that course?
Oh, my dad bought it for me. Yeah,
Nice.
It was just a little aperture sight and 50-foot type thing. And
Do you still own it?
Great experience.
I would always try to find the key to my dad's gun case when he was at work all the time.
Yeah.
He always hid it in new places.
Well, that gets
so I ended up just playing with the swords a lot. My first shooting experience was his 30-30.
Yeah.
Was he present, or was that when you?
Yeah, he was present.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I shot myself in the leg when I was 11.
Oh,
was down in the basement shooting at a steel trap with a Ruger 22, and decided to get fancy and wrap off several shots, and one hit the side frame of the trap and came back and hit my leg, went through my pants, and I never did tell my parents because I was afraid they'd make me stop shooting, so I just pulled the piece out. It didn't go that deep.
Didn't you tell Grandma like a few years before she passed?
About a year before she died.
That's awesome. You still have that scar?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Wouldn't.
And she said, "Oh, Jimmy, why would you do that?"
Yeah, why would you shoot in the basement? Did y'all have like a range set up in your
basement?
basement?
Yeah, it was the old steel trap, about that big a square, and it would handle up to 30. We shot 22s, 25s. That was about the biggest we went.
Bet your parents let you run with scissors in the house too, didn't they?
Oh yeah. Well, hey, it was the 60s. That helped build character.
Exactly, and you're turned out just fine. What about you, Mitch?
I was about 12 years old, and Dad handed me a Mossberg 500 12 gauge. So that was my first experience with a real gun. And Jim knows my dad. They were old buddies growing up, so
yeah,
it was a good time.
Character building.
Do you still have that shotgun?
Yeah. They had a rule: you had to shoot it 3 times.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I do actually.
Nice. What about that 22, Jim? Do you still have that 22?
No, I don't.
Wouldn't that be great if you still had that, man?
We still have the 30-30.
Still got 30-30?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Coop, have I run you through these questions before?
No, actually, you haven't.
Okay, well, we know your military background. So, what's your first exposure to firearms again?
Probably very similar to Mitch's, except for it was a side-by-side double barrel 12 gauge shotgun.
Which trigger did you pull?
Both of them. So, I mean,
you got a 24 gauge.
Right. I mean, double the fun, I guess. Yeah. I think that's like most every farm boy's first exposure to.
This is how grunts are made.
Like real firearms is like a 12 gauge of that nature that just kicked you as hard as a mule. So that's my believe it or not, my parents were not believers of firearms, so we had no guns in the house. And my mom didn't want me around them. That really didn't work out well for her. As she'll tell you at
Look
this
at you
point,
now.
but we had we had a pellet rifle, and I had a compound bow, but I didn't get my first gun that I actually got and owned, or was given to me by my parents, was a Mossberg 835 that when I was 16, that I still have right now. So
Very nice.
yeah.
When it comes to pop culture, and I think I know where you guys are probably going to head with this. What's your go-to, when you just want to kick back, you want to relax, movie, TV show, could be a book, could be podcast, that's a thing now. What's your go-to just to kick back, relax, and escape?
It could be several things. I watch romantic comedies with my wife if I'm with, snuggling.
What's something you really want to do?
Arnold, man, hard to beat a good old Arnold movie. I like watching
good.
Vikings. It's.
Have you guys seen that? It's called Rogue. I think it's called Rogue.
I saw it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's like
preview to it.
based off the SAS, how they kind of started, and it's a lot of fiction, but it's a really good series.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody turned me onto that not too long ago. But how about you, Ethan? You a reader? Jim, you a reader? You like watch?
How things are made. That's my favorite. I love to see old manufacturing processes and just marvel at how brilliant they were.
Oh, I sent you the train video in England. What year was that? Like 1920.
20.
Yeah, them putting a train together, start to finish. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love documentaries like that. I also like the Barrett auctions and the Mitchum auctions. I could sit down and just zone out watching those things, man. I really like those. What about you, Mitch?
Man, I don't know. If I'm just gonna sit back and relax, I'd rather just go jump in the hammock and watch the clouds.
Just look up at the sky. Gotcha.
Yep, just kind of. I don't. You can ask Coop. I don't sit well, so sitting down to watch TV doesn't work for me very very well. So, but yeah, for whatever reason, being out in nature, a little ecotherapy, soothes the beast a little bit, I guess.
Plug.
Yep, little ecotherapy. I love it.
You're welcome.
I love it.
How about you, Coop?
For me, I'd say, I don't do very good sitting down either. But if I'm gonna sit down and actually watch something like, my favorite movie of all times, like Last of the Mohicans, Gladiator's a good one.
Gladiator, that's a great movie. Have you seen the second one that's out, the most recent one?
I have not. I'm a little apprehensive about that.
Sucks.
It's okay.
Yeah, it sucks. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Don't waste time.
Second movies suck. So,
wait, how can there be a second movie after The Last of the Mohicans?
No, Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yeah. I missed it.
To be fair, how can there be a second Gladiator when he dies at the end of the first one? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he had a son. He had an offspring.
True.
I'll ruin it for you. Spoiler. I don't want you watching it because it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'd much rather be out coyote hunting than watching a movie. But a lot of the newer movies are not too great. So
yeah.
I'll go with some old ones. If I'm gonna watch a comedy, Dumb and Dumber, that's a great one.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Stupid laughs.
How about Idiocracy?
Yes, that's the best documentary ever.
Yes, and now everyone's wearing Crocs. Look where we're at in life. This is great.
Did you hear the story behind it? He said, I wanted to pick the ugliest shoe that was cheap.
Yeah.
And I found the Croc, and I said, there's no way anybody's going to wear this shoe.
And now kids are Now kids are putting gibbets on their Crocs. Yeah,
People are
I'm with you.
stealing them. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
stealing them from people, killing
Yeah.
people over Crocs. I've got several others, but I'm gonna skip to the last two here. So, because we're running out of time. When it comes to UFOs, Bigfoot, things like that, the supernatural, you guys believe in that? Do you believe there's actually aliens that have visited Earth? I'll start with Mitch because he looks like he's got an answer.
I would say that as big as the universe is, to think we're the only the only things out there, that's thinking pretty small.
But have they visited Earth?
Something has.
Okay. All right.
Whether it's God and angels or a UFO, it's something along those lines. That's for sure.
Well, we're not including God and angels. We're talking about aliens and other than human life forms. Ethan, what do you think?
Similar to Mitch, it's definitely you have to think about the fallen angels. They seemed like gods to modern man. I mean, to the early man. They came from somewhere else other than Earth. You also look at the discoveries being made. Look at ancient technology where it's at versus our technology now.
Mm-hmm.
You also wonder how much God removed from our minds to because we were getting too advanced too fast. Yeah, it's curious. I don't doubt that we haven't been visited
By aliens.
Yeah.
I'm not talking God and angels. I'm talking about other life forms out in the great unknown. Think they have? Think they influenced maybe some of the original cultures?
I think more of the influence was probably more towards on the biblical side of things, I believe, is
Sure.
where my belief is.
Okay. So God created man, and
Mhm.
we're the center of the universe.
We are the center of the universe. Yep.
Okay.
We are what was chosen to be.
How about Bigfoot?
There's something.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm a Bigfoot guy.
Yes. Ethan, what do you think? Bigfoot, or I mean Jim, Bigfoot? No Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, it doesn't exist. Otherwise, I mean, we got too much technology to.
Yeah, we would have seen something by now for sure.
I think so too, but at the same time, I mean, we're still discovering, tribes out in these far off places that nobody's ever seen or.
Well, like in Arizona, the red-headed giants that were 8 to 11 foot tall, and there was a native woman that she was part of all the conversations of the elders, and she said that they were a tribe of cannibals, and they would kill them. And so one day they rose up and they caused a great fire by their cave system, and when they were discovered, they said, yes, there actually was a great fire at this cave entrance. And they can't find the bones today.
Right.
As, pillaging.
But this is in Arizona? They're saying that they're.
Yeah, it was right. Arizona and I think part of Nevada, maybe. But yeah, it was out there. It was called the. I'll
have to look that one up.
I'm trying to remember it because we were last night. Actually, it's funny enough. We're showing the kids Beyond Belief episodes.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. They're like, yeah, we actually had some class back in our day.
Yeah, I love watching those ancient alien shows and things like that. was that Josh Gates guy that does like the archaeological stuff and digs up all this stuff. Those are fun. Would you go on a Bigfoot hunt? If I were to organize a Bigfoot hunt and have all the technology, with the latest infrared and the drones with the night vision and heat sensors and thermals and all that, not to kill him. I don't want to kill him. Just to go out and hunt and find him. Would you go on a hunt?
Oh, sure. It'd be fun.
Right. It'd be fun just to go out and use all that technology and just see what you find. I mean, you may not find book, but you may find one of these ancient tribes that have been out there for forever, or a new species of lion or tiger, or something like that. But yeah. Last question: if you were to spend the day at the range with any person, any group of people, whether they're alive, dead, fictional, who would you like to spend the day at the range with?
That'd be my dad. He's been gone since 2008, so yeah.
Yeah, same
Great
here.
to talk to him again.
Yeah. How about you, Jim? I mean, Ethan. I get y'all mixed up.
You're fine.
So much alike.
Yeah, I definitely. I would say my grandpa as well. I miss him a lot.
Very good. So you make it again, nepotism. You guys are keeping it in the family. Doing the family. I mean, you could get anybody from history. It could be a fictional character, and you can have a group of people. So with your granddad, who else would you like to have with you guys?
Boy, it'd be cool.
John Wayne.
That's why we named him Ethan.
I don't know. It'd be cool to our forefathers. I think that would be awesome.
Like George Washington and Thomas Paine.
It'd be cool to talk with them, because I think similarities would be staggering of what we're going through today versus what they went through.
Understand
everything's relative.
Why they form things the way they form them.
What they actually meant with the Constitution.
Right.
What they actually intended for that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Why they created a republic versus a democracy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd put a lot of the lawyers out of a job.
Yeah.
How about you, Mitch?
Well, I said John Wayne already, didn't I? Or did I glitch out on that?
Oh, did you say that? I thought one of them.
Yeah, he said it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing George Washington either with an M4 or a Barrett. That'd be a good time.
Yes.
As far as like guys that are president, I've shot with a lot of guys. So, yeah, for history. Yeah, I'll stick with the Duke. We'll go John Wayne, him or Wyatt Earp. Someone, couple neat guys with some neat stories.
Yeah, talk about actually what went down at the OK Corral. That'd be kind of.
That was a good movie, by the way.
Exactly. Like, it's just us. What happened?
Tombstone, not Wyatt Earp. Tombstone. Is that what you're saying, or do you like Wyatt Earp movie?
You're talking about the docu-series, the recent one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a docu-series on it?
Yeah, there's a recent docu-series about it. It may be a couple years old.
It's like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I was going to say Tombstone. That's like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good movie.
Kurt Russell. Yeah, love that. Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie. And we lost Coop, so I guess his people got there. I think I heard a ATV or something roll up there. So I'll get Coop back on. We'll get his answers to the rest of those. But guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on and sharing, the history of your company, your products with the lead heads. I know they appreciate it as well. And again, your website, I've got it rolling down here at the bottom. It's disavowedgroup.com and at Disavowed Group Actual on the grams. You guys go give them a follow. Check out their products. Can they buy directly from your website, or do they have to go through?
through dealers, it would be the easiest. I mean, they can buy direct from us.
Yeah. Well,
just send us an email and we can process where it's going to.
Okay. And the ones that got the code, they're going to use that code through you guys.
Correct.
So
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll process their order. I'll send them an invoice and they can give me the details of which gun store they wanted to send it to and get moving
Very
on.
cool. Very cool. Any parting words that you'd like to get out there? You guys are going to be at NRA. You got any other events coming up that you guys are going to be at? I know.
Yep, we have goals in August. That's
it's in
Knoxville, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, Knoxville.
Last I heard, they're going to do it in the same place they did.
Yep, they are. Going there. We received a few invites for CanCon to share some booth space with some great companies.
Yeah.
3 so far. So we're working out the details. We won't be able to make the early one,
Arizona,
but we'll be able to do the one in Carolina.
I'll be at that one, so I'll see you guys. I'll be there with Mission First. So yeah, have y'all been there before?
No.
Yeah, it's really that range out there is for the Clinton House. I think it's what it is. Yeah, it's a phenomenal place out there. You're really
other shows I have to check. There's been a few that have been mentioned, but we haven't really fully decided yet which ones we're going to.
Okay, very cool.
No, we appreciate you having us. We really do. It was nice.
So how'd you like your first podcast? A good experience?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Good.
I don't think you're going to get this detailed with other ones because we do long form. Most of the other ones are like real short. So we kind of go into the woods here, but love to have you guys back on because we do, other specific topic related shows. So with your knowledge and backgrounds, maybe calling you guys maybe as experts for some other shows that we have coming up.
Yeah. And then when we're ready to tell you about our special gun project,
yes,
you'll enjoy that
because we are the show for exclusives. So when you guys have that, get in touch with me and we'll definitely get it out there. Definitely.
Yeah.
Very good. Mitch, any parting words?
Thanks for having us, man. I appreciate it. It's nice seeing you again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to do some karaoke with you guys. Again, Jim.
Oh yeah.
Words?
No, like Ethan said, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And again, you guys, the knowledge that you have, something that we didn't get into that maybe this will give us something to talk about maybe next time you guys are on, or hopefully something's done, the legislation with suppressors that's going on and whatnot. So maybe we'll do an update on that in an upcoming episode, and I'll get you guys on for that.
Yeah.
So, but Leadheads, that does it for this episode. We've got, like I said, upcoming episodes. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about survival tactics. We're going to communications, caches, and community. So during a disaster, apocalyptic times, whatever it may be, how to get prepared. Being prepared with your communications, your caches, building caches, and building your network, your community for those events. So make sure you check that episode out. And then the espionage episode is still in the works, but that's going to be a fun episode. So make sure you're watching the Instagrams and listening to the podcast and supporting all of our guests, all of our sponsors, SEAL One, Mission First Tactical, Firebird Targets, Slide Fire. The bump stocks are back, baby. They're legal again. Lockdown, Keltec, cranking cases. Use those discount codes and save money. So until the next episode, Leadheads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
Your firearms closer.
With Disavowed.
Closer.
Yeah. And quieter with Disavowed.
Correct. Oh, that's right. You're good.
I've done this a couple of times.
She said she didn't understand.